Why would you do that? Then he got a tech.
Don't
He just hit a pull up three. Whatever.
look. It's time to talk a little football.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you started it. I'm
I
sorry.
legitimately counted down, Lonnie. I counted down.
I was locked in. I was locked in. I apologize.
And we are live. Welcome to the 7th episode of the new Open Field podcast. My name is Random. I'm here with Riddell and Lonnie, and we are reacting to the NFL schedule release that literally just happened 6 minutes ago. But we're going to let all the stuff like kind of come out. We'll talk all the big matchups, blah, blah, blah. But first things first, we just got a little bit of housekeeping to do. But before we get to any of that, how you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Like I'm rocking with the Texans this year. CJ Stroud also rocking with the Bears with Riddell. The Bears, but my home team is the Patriots, and we're gonna get whooped this year, which means we're gonna get a top pick. So I'm happy. I think everything's good. Everything's good. Oh, except the Hard Knocks situation.
Still don't understand why they picked the Giants of
No,
all teams.
nobody. I've been looking at comments on IG. Everything's like, why the Giants? Any team but the Giants. They'd rather the Panthers than the Giants. They'd rather the Cardinals again than the Giants. They're like, this is the least interesting team in the NFL.
It's not even like hating on the Giants. It's just what's interesting. You know what, Riddell? You're the Giants fan. I know, even though you're probably you're repping them. They're in your heart, but you're not repping them outside. Why the Giants? What about the Giants is interesting enough for them to be on Hard Knocks? You're
Yeah,
muted.
you're
You're
muted.
muted. That should tell you all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen.
It says he's not muted, but
Maybe it's just his mic thing came out. But while he's fixing that, the only things that come to my head right now, what Malik Neighbors and I guess the quarterback situation. But
Tommy DeVito. That's gonna be like insert.
Riddell,
Can
you
you hear
good?
me?
Yeah,
There we
now we
go.
can hear you.
All right, sell us on why the Giants. What's so great about the Giants being on Hard Knocks?
At the very least, the New York Giants are going to be a big question mark. That's what you can say. I mean, everyone kind of has an identity right now. The New York Giants don't. And there's a lot of like potential drama that people might be interested in. Will Daniel Jones be the quarterback? Will he not be the quarterback? Does Malik Neighbors like Daniel Jones? Does he not like Daniel Jones? What's the offense gonna look like without Saquon Barkley? How good will this defense be? Like the Giants right now have no identity, but have talent. They're kind of in a weird situation where they'll either be mid or really bad. So that chaos is what people are going to look forward to, and we know how fired up Brian Daboll can be, of course. So this year in particular probably be the final year with the current like Giants kind of question marks, and then they'll kind of figure it out. But I mean, I guess that's what they're looking at. All the question marks, all the drama, all the a do I like you, do I not like you? That's probably going to go on throughout the entire team. That's the only way you would kind of rationalize it.
Well, obviously, in terms for teams to be eligible for Hard Knocks, there are a lot of restrictions. So maybe there was a few, but I'd rather see the Cardinals instead of the Giants. I'd rather see the Seahawks instead of the Giants.
The
Like
Jaguars,
the Jaguars instead of the
the
Giants. The
Browns, the
Jaguars should have
Bengals.
been the team, maybe low key.
I thought the Raiders.
The Raiders would be fascinating too. Atlanta, they didn't
The
make the playoffs.
Broncos after Russell Wilson.
Atlanta would have been the absolute spot. What's good, Shift God? What's good? Atlanta would have been the spot for real for people to watch.
The Lions. Oh, they just did the
The
Lions last.
Lions made the playoffs, so they're not
They did the
eligible.
Lions last year.
So the Falcons would have been the spot. Kirk Cousins is in. Let's see how he reacts to his injury. Michael Penix is there. What's going on? But you know what? They made the thing. They made the thing. HBO is gonna really sell us the Giants for a little bit to make it work, and then we'll see what happens. But let's get down to the brass tacks before we talk about the schedule. The Lions keep the vault open as they pay Jared Goff 4 years, $212 million, $170 million guaranteed, making him the second highest player per annually salary per year behind Joe Burrow. So how do we feel about this extension? And then I have a few more questions to ask after that.
You want to go first, Riddle?
Yeah, I can go first. I talked about this before on playback, and I mean, shout out Jared Goff. Like he played well. He's not too old. I think he's in like the late 20s, so it's not like he's a 30-year-old right now. In terms of like stats and performance, they keep on getting better. I mean, I'm not too mad at it. This is the current quarterback market. It is what it is. And they don't really have to. They paid some of the more important people already. Like they paid Penei Sewell already. They paid Amon-Ra St. Brown already. They don't have to worry about Montgomery and Gibbs. Jameson Williams hasn't really earned anything. Sam Laporta, you don't have to worry about. Aiden Hutchinson, I mean, down the line. So they don't really have to pay anybody immediately. So they're kind of in a good situation. So if the quarterback that is not too old has been playing well, you want him to be happy, you want him to stay there and kind of keep certain level of continuity, then this is fine with me. Is Jared Goff as good as his contract says? I mean, you could argue no, but ultimately, this is just how the current quarterback market is right now.
Lonnie?
Yeah, I agree because 3-4 years down the line, that contract's not going to look bad at all. Might even be out of the top 10 in terms of highest paid average. And he's right. You don't have to. You already paid everyone that you have to pay immediately. Hutchinson probably still has another 2-3 years before you have to pay him. And by that time, the cap space will be, we don't even know how big the cap space will be then. And then, if you do have cap problems, you can always restructure Jared Goff's deal. He's not, at that point in his career, he's going to rather restructure than get cut. So, yeah, I think it was a good move for them because their best players are all young, still on their rookie deals. Aiden, Gibbs, and then you signed Amar. You gave an extension on Amar St. Brown, and then you gave an extension of Penei Sewell. So they're in a good position. I don't know if they're Super Bowl contenders. I still think that they need to make some type of dynamic move. Like I thought last year they should try to trade for a PS2 or something like that. But they did address the corners in the draft. So we'll see how they do.
So I do have a few questions. First things first, would you guys have given Jared Goff that extension?
I mean, considering the situation they're in, I would be fine with it, to be honest, because it's not when it comes to paying players, it's not necessarily based on what you're worth versus what is the market saying. And Jared Goff played very well objectively. I mean, they made the playoffs. They arguably, you could say, should have beat the 49ers if it wasn't for some drop passes, questionable calls, obviously the comeback from the 49ers. So they were right there. They could have made the Super Bowl last year. And yes, the NFC is getting better, but they're also not getting worse. So in this situation in particular for the Detroit Lions, like I say, I would pay him. You're not getting anything better than Jared Goff, to be honest.
Yeah, they're not in a position to get anything better than Jared Goff because they're not bad enough to get like a lottery pick, and there's no available free agents right now that are available. Like, what were they gonna wait till Tua didn't get an extension and try to get him? That's just like a bar for bar. Like it's not they're him and Goff are in the same tier. So it's really their only option.
All right. So now let's look at the ramifications of this deal. So this deal could potentially affect 4 people in particular, right? Tua, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, and Trevor Lawrence.
Not Brock Purdy.
Nah, you can still wait. You can still wait another year. You can still wait another year before you even begin the process with him. So, if you wanted, I think the hierarchy is pretty clear. Jordan Love is the best quarterback out of the four. Can we all agree on that?
I mean, you could say if you say him or Dak, I'm not really mad at it.
Mhm.
Depends on like if you're like, oh, I need another year to see it. That's fine.
Okay.
Jordan Love clearly has a better upside,
but so we already know Dak is in this final contract year. He can't be franchise tagged. So there's already questions around him. The Dolphins have to have realistic. They're in the part where we have to decide if they have to pay Tua or not. Same thing with Trevor Lawrence. So who do you think is the quarterback that gets the next deal? Do you think Dallas has the guts to let Dak touch free agency and potentially lose him? It's been already been put out there that the Steelers would be interested in Dak if he does hit free agency. And what do the Dolphins do with Tua regarding this deal? Because I think if I'm the Dolphins, if I'm the Dolphins or the Packers, I'm mad that they got this deal done so fast because that's now the floor.
Well, a few things. So, according to recent reports, the Dolphins and Tua are currently in talks for extension.
Mm-hmm.
So they're working on that now. But now there's like a new floor, at least a new bar.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence talks have stalled apparently, and we don't know exactly when they're gonna pick back up. But like the talks have stopped, so it might be that Jaguars want him to improve or whatever, or the Jaguars might be trying to do that game where it's like, oh, if you like play bad this year, then we don't have to pay you as much, but if you play good, then we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. But they're the type of organization to do that. We've seen multiple teams do that before. But also could pick up like right before the season or like right during, like we all know there's like different times where like these teams try to start the talks again. With Dak, I feel like it's probably gonna affect him the most because he's the highest profile out of all of them. So now like he has to get paid more than Jared Goff, at least in his eyes. Is he worth more than Jared Goff? Maybe a little bit more. I still feel like they're like in the same tier, but he's gonna be. How much is Goff's contract?
4 years, $212 million.
Yeah, so he like what Dub Nation said. He's gonna be asking for like $250.
Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence don't have to worry; they're gonna get paid regardless. I'm not even.
Jordan Love already got his extension.
It was a 2-year extension. It was a 2-year extension.
A bag. Him and Trevor Lawrence are both getting bags. The question is like, will they break the market? Jordan Love has, as of right now, based off recency bias, has a better chance. But like both of them are going to get similar contracts, and both of them are going to be the futures of their franchise. I'm not worried about Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not worried about Jordan Love at all. The question is Tua and Dak Prescott. And Tua, I mean, he has obvious limitations, although I think he's solid, but it's very obvious that he can't carry a team. And Dak Prescott always fumbles in the playoffs, despite how good the team is. Like, you only can make this team as good as possible. So now you probably want to go look in a different direction. I think Dak doesn't return to the team, and I think Tua takes a pay cut. That's what I think happens. I think that's what makes sense. And I think Jerry Jones wants to look in a different direction of a player who doesn't need the perfect team to win a playoff game and not get blown out by a Green Bay Packers team who's the youngest team in the NFL.
To your point, it's a long shot, but to your point, I saw on Bleacher Report today that Trevor Lawrence is getting a majority of snaps right now because I guess either Dak's not in some of these voluntary camps or whatever.
I mean, Trey Lance?
Yeah, Trey Lance. Yeah, Trey Lance is getting a majority of snaps. Apparently, he's going to be playing a majority of the preseason. Maybe Dak doesn't really want to participate in the preseason, which he's an older quarterback. A lot of them don't. Sometimes they just play in like the last game, but they're giving Trey Lance more reps. So if they like what they see and Dak doesn't own up, didn't they give up like a second round pick for him or something like that?
It was a 5th round. It was a 5th round pick to get Trey Lance.
Oh, regardless. Yeah, I could see a small weird reality where Dak messes up and they try to believe in Trey Lance. I can see
Look,
that.
my only thing when I'm hesitant about Trey Lance, it's still the lack of snaps. And also, if he was balling, we would definitely know about it. If he was performing well in practice, we would know about it. Now, if they want to try after Dak goes to just see what Trey Lance has, and then they say whatever happens, maybe we'll draft a quarterback in the next draft. I guess. But I understand that Dak fails in the playoffs, but all the quarterbacks you'd say are better than Dak are not hitting the market. So do you really think Jerry Jones is willing to let Dak walk and really just take a chance on Trey Lance short of his own ego because it's the best thing for the team?
Yeah, because you also got to pay other players in the Cowboys. Micah, CD Lamb, Trayvon Diggs. It's not just Dak. And so
But the
you
quarterback
gotta
position is
at
more
this
important
point.
than them.
But Dak hasn't been proving anything.
You
He's
think
been on the
Jerry
team
Jones
for way
thinks
too
that
long.
Dak is more important than Micah Parsons?
I'm not saying that he does, but I'm saying the position is more important than
But
that.
he hasn't been played well enough to
I
do what
agree
is
in the
necessary
playoffs. He
for the
played well
team.
last year. He played well last year.
There's someone
In the
that's
playoffs,
probably
no, he didn't.
there-
In the
I said
playoffs,
in,
he was
I
bad.
said I agree with you in the playoffs, but in the regular
That's what
season, he played well
matters.
last year.
The regular season doesn't matter for the Cowboys. Keep it honest.
it really
doesn't.
doesn't.
It's all about the playoffs now, and the fact
Do
that
you
they keep on failing. Jerry Jones is tired of it. So you go the new route of quarterback, where it's okay. Give me a young quarterback and a stacked roster like the 49ers. That's what they probably want to do now. Is Dak Prescott's not doing the job?
Their next three biggest contracts are going to be between Dak, CD. Well, the next three people that they have to pay, that one most likely might not get paid: Dak, CD, and Micah. You can't.
They're going to pay Micah, and if I'm
They're
being
gonna
honest,
pay
I think
Micah.
they'll probably just franchise tag CD, and they'll see if they can work it out with Dak.
They'll have to pay CD eventually, though.
Yeah,
would have
and
to
they
pay
can
CD.
wait. They can make CD wait a year. What's CD going to do? Sit out? Because that's always worked.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Do we see how his family reacts?
Yeah,
and
but
stuff
if they
like that?
pay Dak, there's no way they're going to be able to pay CD, and then
They
obviously
will find
Trayvon
a way.
Diggs.
If that means they got to cut somebody else. Maybe a linebacker's making too much money, or a few players are making too much
They
money.
have all new linebackers. They're not paying any.
Yeah.
Of them.
They'll find a way. These teams always do. CD is the low out of the three players. CD is the third
Yeah,
on the
and
hierarchy of
without
getting
C-
paid,
So without CD, what's your receiver core?
and that's fine.
An old
'Cause
Brandon
you
It's
can
Cooks?
not
franchise.
fine for the
You
Cowboys.
can
Not fine.
franchise.
That means they're-
So
that means
so
they're-
so you're
That means
saying
they're in the same space.
Cowboys.
They're in the same.
So-
They're even a worse spot, random, because without CD,
question.
they're
So
barely a
you're
playoff.
saying they should pay CD before Dak?
No,
Yes,
that's not what I'm saying.
I
I'm saying
am.
that they're
Get rid of
screwed.
Dak.
I'm saying that they're screwed because all right. So say you pay Dak. Say they do play Dak and they pay Micah because they have to pay Micah, and you're saying that they should pay that the quarterback's the main position. So say they pay Dak, they pay Micah. They don't have enough to pay CD. Say CD does sit out, or he does whine and complain or whatever, and then you're left with an old Brandon Cooks. Who's their second receiver? I don't know off the top of my head. Do you? Do you know who their third receiver is?
Okay. Do you truly when we say sit out? How many games do you think CD Lamb is going to miss? Because I say none. He just
It's
sits out
about
training
the
camp and he
fu-
shows
it's
up
not
and he
just
shows up for
about
week one.
one season. It's about the future of the team. CD Lamb is a young emerging talent. Micah Parsons, young emerging talent. Aren't young current talent for both.
Yes.
And I will keep on bringing the name Trayvon Diggs, who's also a young current talent.
Didn't they
Your
sign him like 2
roster,
years
these
ago?
guys are going to be your pillars of your team for the next 10 years. Now you want to put yourself in a difficult situation.
I thought they extended
Prescott's
Trayvon.
not-
They extended Trayvon Diggs. They extended him last year, so he's not.
When does his
he's not-
contract run out?
5 years, $97 million.
So
You don't have to worry about him.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to
They
worry
don't
about
got to worry about Trayvon Diggs. They also got to figure out what they want to do with Deron Bland. Also, I think next year will be his third year.
How much?
Deron Bland's the fourth person. They could probably let him walk.
No, he
and
might
then
not
find
be the
somebody
fourth
else.
person. Because wait, how much longer on Lawrence's contract? Isn't that up soon as well? That's their second bet. That's their second best pass rusher.
They can draft one. This isn't the first time we've seen a team
But he's also the captain of the defense. Like he's been their captain.
And that's fine. They release
their
captains.
leader.
They release captains of the defense all the time. This isn't the first team that's ever found themselves.
So
in a
you
place
want to
where
stay?
multiple players-
You want to stay losing in the first round with Dak Prescott? I mean, if that's how you want to run your franchise.
No. My thing, I'm just saying,
Sounds
unless
good,
you're
Randall. That's
no.
cool with me.
Hold on, Riddell.
me.
Unless they're gonna draft it, because if Trey Lance is your future, no, then go draft Shador. Then go do what you can to get Shador.
That
If you're
means
not
you have
gonna
to be
do
bad
that,
enough to get Shador.
if you're not gonna do that,
Trade up.
then find a way. Find a way. If you're not gonna do that, then as much as y'all don't like it, Dak Prescott is the best quarterback.
Oh, and
available.
apparently,
But I'm saying they draft a quarterback.
Also,
That's-
Lamb wants to get paid this year because he's already sitting out. He's already sitting out.
He's already pissed off about it. Yeah.
That's
He's already
fine.
sitting out. So
That's
you want.
fine.
So you want. So he's gonna be sitting out already, and then you're saying you're gonna franchise tag him after he's
Yeah,
already sitting
because
out.
they've done it before. Unless Lamb is serious enough to miss games, which the one person that tried that, it worked out really bad for him. Unless Lamb is serious enough to miss games, I'm calling his bluff.
But the
I'm
willingness
sorry.
of
When you're
players
talking star
nowadays-
pass rushers, quarterback, and then receiver's the third one of the three.
It depends on current value, current age, and a lot of different factors. But I mean, there's kind of an insinuation that they want Shador. Hey, we're all getting the vibe that they want Shador. So I can see them for sure trading up and getting their quarterback of the future. I can see
Okay.
that.
And then I guess then we'll see next year. All
Yeah.
right,
DeMarcus Lawrence, his contract is up after this year.
that's fine. They can
It's
just draft a
not fine,
pass
'cause
rusher.
it's not-
They can draft a pass rusher. Maybe they go sign one in free
yeah, because
agency.
just drafting a pass rusher that just always works out.
Yeah, but also you don't need to. You can't. First of all, you can't sign everybody. And okay, so he's still fourth. Even if Deron Bland is lower, he's still fourth on that list. He's still fourth on that list. None of the people we've mentioned touch Micah, Dak, or CD.
What's the
in
Cowboys'
importance.
main goal? It's the Cowboys is like, yo, we need to win a Super Bowl. Jerry Jones is old.
That's great.
He don't got that much time left. Let's be honest. He really
I-
don't got that much time.
I understand that, and
And so you're
it's-
saying, so what we're saying is that, like, hey, he's either gonna have to get a above average quarterback. He's either got to overpay a above average quarterback and lose his second best defensive lineman, or lose his best receiver, and somehow still make it to the Super Bowl before he croaks.
this is the problem with the Cowboys. They have unrealistic expectations for what their team is. That's what they have, right? But looking at it right now, I still don't think they'll lose their top receiver. They'll just franchise tag him. That gives them another year to negotiate a contract. Plus,
With what
he's-
money?
his-
With what money?
with whatever money they can find. This isn't the first time. This is not the first time we've seen
You
this
know how many
happen to a
big
team.
contracts they have?
That's great. And they'll find it. The cap also goes up. This isn't they'll cut players if they need to. This is not the first time we've seen a team that needs to pay a lot of high impact, high profile players, and they find money. They
'Cause
always
it's not
do.
just about Dak, CD, because they just paid Zach Martin, who's the best guard in football, arguably.
And that's cool, man.
So they
That's
just
cool.
gave him a shit ton of money.
That's cool. So you're telling me you could, short of them trading CD, which I can't remember last time a high profile. The only person I can think of is Stephon Diggs. He's the only one that keeps
How
getting
many teams
traded.
have like 5 to 6 big contracts?
They'll figure out a way. Teams always do, Lonnie.
See,
I don't
but
know
that's not
what
the actual answer though. They'll just find.
but that's
a
what
way.
they do.
There's
Lonnie.
not enough cap space. I don't
Then
care.
they'll cut players. They'll cut
Who
the
are they
backup
cutting?
linebacker. They'll cut
Because
the
they-
backup linebacker, or the backup receiver, or the backup guard
They
that makes too
only
much money.
You
teams
mean the
only
rookies they
gut
just
their
signed? Because that's
roster
their
for
linebacking core.
quarterbacks who they believe can carry the team. The thing is, the whole premise of the Cowboys have unrealistic expectations. I don't even think that is true. This has been a top 3-ish roster in the NFC for like the better part of the last decade. They've been really good. They just can't get it over the top because they keep underperforming in the playoffs. Now, you can go through a lot of factors, but one consistent factor that more often than not you can criticize has been Dak Prescott not being able to go past what he is to win with this team, which is really good, but not perfect. Perfect rosters don't exist in the NFL. Like even the Eagles in the 2022 Super Bowl. They weren't a perfect roster, but they were pretty damn close. But they just lost. They lost against the Chiefs. They were winning games still. So, yeah, I mean, the Cowboys at this point, they just gotta bite the bullet and move on from Dak Prescott.
I get it, but Trey
Looking at-
Lance or Shador does not get them to a Super Bowl. Especially you saying they need to win now, it does not get them to a Super Bowl faster than Dak Prescott does right now. It just doesn't.
Well, I agree with Trey Lance, but
We
with
don't
a
know how
young
Shador will
quarterback?
adjust to the game. We just don't.
so you gotta if you're basically stuck in homeostasis, then you got to make a move. You got to make a gamble because you're not going anywhere.
Okay. All right. Next story is Kirk Cousins. You know, Riddell, we talked about this a little bit in the Telegram, but he was recently asked in an interview if he would have signed with the Falcons if they knew they were going to trade. If they were going to trade up to get Michael Penix. He said, I don't deal in hypotheticals, which I think is just Kirk Cousins' way of saying no. So, do you think this quarterback situation could end up causing friction with the Falcons, especially since they have the easiest schedule from what we saw in the NFL in this upcoming year? Plus, what are their chances to make noise? What are the chances to make noise in the NFC?
I do want to go through their schedule after we talk about Kirk Cousins, so we can really kind of dissect how many games that we think they're going to win. So we could do that in a second, but ultimately, when it comes down to the Falcon situation, I'm not mad at Kirk feeling how the way he feels. If he was told something and they done something else, I'll be annoyed too. Because the reason why he left the Vikings is one, he wanted to get paid, but two, he had the feeling that they were going to try to replace him with a younger quarterback.
Mhm.
And joining the Falcons, he thought this was going to be his team for a while. At the very least, I'm sure he was aware that at the very least, the first 2 years, I'm good. This is my team. If they start looking elsewhere after that 2 years, fine. And they didn't tell him, they didn't communicate with them, and they drafted a young quarterback anyway, with a pick that they desperately needed certain holes to be addressed in other areas, especially the defense. So yeah, I mean, I would be pissed if I was Kirk Cousins too. I like Penix, I like Kirk, but to expect people to not have pride, I mean, we saw it how Aaron Rodgers reacted, and of course, Kirk is not Aaron Rodgers, but you're gonna feel some type of way, especially when you have an idea that the team. I thought this was gonna be my team, but apparently not. Apparently not.
Lonnie.
No, I agree with Riddell. Because apparently also like when he was talking to the Vikings about possibly returning, they did mention how they wanted a younger quarterback under him, and that was another mark on why he left. Because he probably felt like, oh, they don't believe that I can come back, and this guy might end up taking my job. That's a big reason why he left. So then he goes to Atlanta, and they get it with the 8th pick when they desperately need a pass rusher or a corner, defense mainly. They get a quarterback. So no, I would feel some type of way too, especially if I feel like I'm the answer and I'm the one that can like take this team over the top. We just need help on defense because we're just analysts when it comes to football, but these people like this is their job, and so like he's a veteran quarterback. He knows what that team needs. He knows the pros and cons of that team. So he knows it's like, hey, I feel like I'm the solution on the offense. They just need to address the defense. And what did they do? They drafted a quarterback. So I would feel some type of way.
Yeah, and just so people kind of get the full picture of the Falcons situation, they were, I believe, bottom 10 in pass rush, more specifically like sacks last year. And their top 2 pass rushers were Calais Campbell and Bud Dupree. They lost
Old.
both those guys. So they're both not on the team anymore. And the way they replace their top 2 pass rushers is a 3rd round pick in Braylon Trice. So we'll see if he can, at the very least, keep them still a bottom 10 pass rush in the league. Okay. That's definitely helping the defense. And their secondary corner is like Clark Phillips. Like, there is obvious holes in this team, and it just wasn't addressed. And they had the capital to address it. And they just did it because they really liked Michael Penix Jr. That is a terrible reason. And the Falcons GM has been making questionable decisions since he's joined this team. He's the guy that keeps on drafting the offensive pieces. The Falcons GM, he's the guy that goes like, oh, really good offensive player, I'm going to draft you. I'm gonna draft you. I like Drake London. Drake London, I'm cool with. Kyle Pitts at the 4th pick. I don't know. They haven't been using him since they got him. Bijan Robinson at like what, the 8th pick?
Well, okay. The GM can't.
They haven't been using him since they got him. Like, yeah,
the GM can't control what the court. GM could not control what Desmond Ridder throws to. We all understand Kyle Pitts' talent.
He controls who he hires.
Yeah, it was Arthur Smith's play calling that's like, yo, Jonnu's gonna be the main red zone target while Kyle Pitts is the distraction.
Also, a 4th pick on a tight end, is that normal?
Remember, he was supposed to be generational, and he has generational talent. Like, we saw him his first year ball out, and then they got Arthur Smith. And
it was a good season, but if you had the 4th pick and your team is not good, is your first idea is tight end?
No, it's not.
It's not, but I think his measurables coming out deemed that. And I think we've seen his talent. The problem is he just hasn't had the opportunities to. And I blame his coaching for that. I don't blame the GM. The GM, would I pick him with the 4th overall pick? No. But he's still a 1st round pick. And the fact that you refuse to use this guy who's clearly a weapon that if utilized right, you could put him up there as one of the best tight ends in the game instead of us just saying he has a potential to be that is criminal.
You can literally say that besides maybe Drake London for all of Terry's picks. Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix Jr., and Kyle Pitts. All of them great talents. But you didn't need these picks. Like, there's other things you could have done with those picks to create a more complete team. But you just were so enamored by the gifted offensive talent that hasn't been maximized since you've been GM. And we thought you were finally going to maximize this offense with hiring Kirk Cousins, giving him a bag, and then you draft Michael Penix Jr. Like, what are you doing? Nah. This GM thinks he's smarter than he actually is.
I really thought it was like, oh, easy pick. Get Latu or Dallas Turner. One of them. Just get Dallas or Latu, and like you get like an A grade at the minimum. Because that's the main thing that you need. And they went Michael Penix.
If they had the 2nd overall pick, they probably still would pick Michael Penix Jr. That's how delusional Terry is, bro. If you see something,
that would have been wild.
He was
TikTok alone.
I would have
passed out. I would have passed out if they did that.
Oh, I forgot because I was talking about the Cowboys and like jogged my memory. So I was reading. I think I said it to Random earlier today. So the Cowboys are still paying out Ezekiel Elliott's old contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're paying the old contract this year. They were still paying him $6 million. They signed him for $3 million. Guess how much? And remember, they said Derrick Henry was too expensive for them.
That was cap. He was capped.
Guess how much Derrick Henry's contract was?
$6 million.
It was
he was cap. No, Jerry Jones was capping. He just didn't want to sign him.
$9 million.
He was capping. That's Jerry Jones. He was capping. That's where we're at. Either way, he went. God. Either way, Derrick Henry went to the right place. But
he went to the right place. But they literally could have just paid Derrick Henry.
Riddell, do you want to go over the Falcons schedule since we're here?
Yeah, let's do it. So I just pulled it up. The Falcons regular season roster. Week 1, they play the Steelers. I got the Falcons. Week 1.
I got the Falcons.
Even if
is it at Atlanta?
It could be close. No, it could be close.
Is it at Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay, I got him. I got him winning that one.
Okay.
It's gonna be close.
Are we assuming Kirk's at 100%?
Even if he's 75, I got the Falcons.
And it's 50-50 for me because Mike Tomlin, I don't think Russ George Pickens is going to be even better this year. They improved their O line.
Hey, Justin Fields returning kicks.
I can't wait to see how the special teams works. Not gonna lie,
I
actually
know.
excited.
I'm really excited for
Yeah.
that. I've been watching a lot of UFL to kind of get a picture of it. So I'm very interested to see how that works.
But I could see the Steelers winning. I think like 60% Falcons have a chance of winning 40 Steelers. So
If I'll say this, if
especially
Kirk
like the
starts
first
the
week of
game,
the season, you never really know.
if Kirk starts the game, I pick the Falcons. If for any reason Penix is starting that game, they're losing that game.
Okay, fair enough. Now, I don't know how they got this back to back, but week 2 Eagles.
That's a loss.
I got the Eagles. Yeah, I got the Eagles. And week 3 Chiefs. They got Eagles and Chiefs back to back. That's a crazy back to back right there.
Are they? They're at least going over there? Because if those are both in Atlanta, that's crazy.
Atlanta's at Atlanta. Chiefs are at Atlanta. They go to Eagles. They go to Philly.
Oh,
Well,
they go to
we
Philly?
have our own questions about the Chiefs. You weren't there that day. We just went through the Chiefs offseason. We probably need to talk about it again, Riddell. We're not saying the Chiefs don't have a chance, but Mahomes is putting out a lot of fires, bro. He's putting out a lot of fires.
Did you
One
go to
of
that?
the on my TikTok that I do like football stuff over there. I've done a video for both NFC and AFC hot takes, and one of the AFC hot takes I have for the Chiefs is, bro, Brett Veach is not as good as people think he is, bro. He is getting saved by Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I'm not gonna lie, because
Radom
something
has
to
to go
work
through
out,
the
but
Radom has to go through the receivers again. He has to.
Oh, that freaking shorts on YouTube went crazy for a little bit. Keep going through the schedule. I'll pull up the Chiefs receivers, then we can talk. Because ironically,
right,
my next
so-
question is about the Chiefs.
bet. So far they start off 1-2. Fair enough. Falcons versus Saints. I'll give Falcons.
I'll give it to the Falcons.
They'll
Give it to-
split.
At Atlanta.
They'll
At
split.
Atlanta.
They'll split. They should win home and home. That's what I'm thinking.
fair.
Falcons versus Buccaneers at home.
They'll win that one, but they'll
Yeah,
lose.
Buccaneers could win
the-
though. The
they'll lose
Buccaneers could win.
The Buccaneers could. I if I'm being honest, I would probably take the Buccaneers, but I expect they'll probably split.
Falcons versus at Panthers. I got Falcons.
They'll win both those games.
Yeah,
They should win
Falcons.
both those games.
So I got them at 4-3 right now, personally. Falcons versus Seahawks. I got Falcons. It's at home.
Okay, fine. I'll pick since it's at home. Yeah,
That's
since it's
fine.
at home. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it in prime
Falcons-
time?
That prime stuff is a myth. I stand by it. It's 1 p.m. 1 p.m.
Oh,
Okay.
you're fine then. You're fine.
Oh, he's absolutely safe. Absolutely safe. And he's at home. Bet.
Falcons at Buccaneers.
If they win at home, they're losing this one.
Okay, y'all have them splitting. Fair enough. I would agree to a split. So I'll go like right now. 1,
I don't
2,
think
3.
5 and
everything
5?
could be a split. I could see
Or
them.
6 and
I could
or
see them
6
beating.
and 6 and
Because I
3.
think by that time, Bijan's gonna be like in prime form if he's healthy. Like I could see them winning that one.
Kyle Pitts should be eating and Drake London. We should be like, ooh, somebody's trying to push some Drake London agenda.
Yeah, people are gonna be
everything's going
treating
right.
Bijan
for
like
sure.
he was Saquon in his prime. So I could see them winning.
I think they have to win that game. A big test for them will be week 9, Falcons versus Cowboys. You know what? Give me the Falcons. Give me the Falcons. They being the Cowboys. I don't
To
care.
be fair, the last time they saw the Cowboys, they blew that lead. They blew an incredible lead with Dan Quinn, where the guy. So they remember the Cowboys came all the way back, and then they kicked that onside kick, and then the tight end starts boxing out instead of jumping on the ball to end the game, and he just starts boxing out.
I want to say the Cowboys. I'm leading there, but we always know about around that time something happens with the Cowboys. Somebody gets hurt, or something's already. So like you just never. There's always something. So
It's a coin flip. It's a
could be
coin flip
hurt.
for me right now. That's just why that's how I'm going to treat it. It's a coin flip.
Yeah, I'll go with the Cowboys though.
Okay.
Mm.
Falcons at Saints. Give me
Oh,
Falcons.
They won at home. They lose at the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints.
I'm saying they're taking both. Stand on business. Falcons at Broncos. I got Falcons.
Falcons. I don't trust Bo Nix.
Man, you saw
bye
Sean
week.
Payton glazing him up though, right? He's even bigger than I thought. I was like, hey, yo, relax, Sean.
Praise the size. Praise the size. Falcons versus Chargers. That's gonna be a tough one. I ain't go either way for me.
That's gonna be a dogfight to me. That's gonna be a dogfight.
Wow, what a game!
This
What
time,
week is that?
Herbert won't get bailed out in the fourth quarter.
What
He
week is
should've
that?
lost. Week 13.
Week 13. So like the defense and offense on both teams are probably already established. Harbaugh has his culture set in by then.
Remember how young the Chargers' weapons are, though.
Yeah, but Justin Herbert. I mean, and you still have like Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Hopefully,
J.K. Dobbins gonna be healthy.
Yeah,
Or are they
they're
going in with Kamani Vidal as their number one back? Because
Well,
we know that they're injured.
I like Palmer.
Gus
I do like Palmer.
Edwards can be healthy, and they did draft.
They drafted Kamani
believe they
Vidal.
were.
That's their running back. So I just
Okay,
remember
cool.
because of how unique his name was. That's why I remember it.
Okay.
Brandon
I'm gonna
Wright
go
should be a stud, though.
I'm standing
I'm
on business.
expecting a good season.
I'm gonna go Falcons on that one. I'm gonna go Falcons.
This is a smart thing by the NFL. Falcons versus Vikings at Minnesota. So Kirk is going back to Minnesota.
I think that the Falcons win that game.
Oh,
At
I
that
do
point,
too.
I think the
Literally.
Vikings might be. They're like, JJ, just go out there and play. Like, let's just give you the keys and see what happens. At that point, they're out of
Falcons are
playoff.
winning, but
Their final couple games is like their easiest stretch because of Falcons at Raiders, Falcons versus Giants, Falcons at Washington, and Falcons versus Panthers, and I think they can win every single one of those.
They should win all four.
I could see like the Raiders just being a wild card.
How?
There's Minshew, Devontae Adams, Max Crosby.
Okay.
They have the recipe, and like just the way the coach motivates that team. Like
they're obviously not better than the Chiefs. They're not better than the better than the
not
Bills.
Wild card. I'm saying a wild card in the game, not in the playoffs.
Okay, my bad. I apologize. Yeah. I was like, I need to see.
Like they're just like an unknown team. Like they have the potential to beat anybody just with their firepower, but I feel like they're gonna fail more than they succeed.
I think at that point in the season, if they're like,
and if Brock Bowers is who we're assuming he can be with Devontae Adams, with Jacoby Myers, they can win. They can steal a few games from people.
I agree, but I think at that point when you're looking at that schedule, that could be them like potentially winning the division with that easy of a schedule or securing a playoff spot. They don't have time. The Falcons should not be in a position where they look down on a team. That I understand that schedule looks easy, but that's when you to kind of give you an example. The 2020 Bucks had that kind of they had the Lions, the Panthers. They had like a really easy schedule down the stretch, which obviously propelled them into winning a Super Bowl. But that kind of schedule, you going into playoffs, 1-4 straight, you're confident. Maybe you have a game at home too, and let's say the Cowboys are coming into Atlanta to play in the first round. I think I like their chances.
I hope the Cowboys play Atlanta so Kirk can beat Dak Prescott and prove that he is better than Dak, and he's always been better than Dak. There's only two games. I mean, it's going to solidify what I already knew.
Well, they're in the same tier. If Kirk's at the top of the tier, that's fine. They're in the same tier.
If Kirk was on. I'm not going to go there. I will say this.
You say Kirk on the hold no. Are you saying if Kirk was on the Cowboys?
We can't.
Nah, you can't just throw that out there. We don't talk about it.
We gotta move on, man. There's only two games that I'm like, yeah, I'm betting against you more often than not, and it's the Eagles and the Chiefs game. Other than that, I think they can win. Obviously,
at least they're getting those out the schedule early, so they don't have to worry about those.
Well, people are gonna talk crap about them, saying like, "Oh, you guys started out 1-3 potentially, or maybe even 0-3. They could lose to the Steelers. 0-3. Oh, you guys are not as good as you think you are." Like, all right,
that's fine.
They'll be fine.
I expect the Falcons to make the playoffs. I think their team's good enough, even if Kirk Cousins takes a little while to get ready. They really hooked him up with that schedule, especially that closing schedule. When's their bye?
Week 12.
Oh, I love late buys for teams. So
Crazy thing is, last year on the Vikings, he had a pretty difficult schedule because he played in the beginning half of the season before he got injured. He played the 49ers, he played the Eagles, and he played the Chiefs. He played all three of these teams, also not including playing the Chargers, obviously playing some division opponents as well. So he actually played the Chiefs and the Eagles before, and he almost beat both of them, but defense sold. I'm not gonna lie, defense sold.
I still expect the Falcons to make the playoffs, and we could probably have a discussion about seeding and all that afterwards. But ironically, since we brought up the Chiefs, we touched on it a little bit about whether or not the Chiefs were cooking or not. Obviously, if you want to look at the totality of the Chiefs, they're cooking. But when you just want to look at their offseason, there have been some spectacular blunders. Obviously, Rashee Rice is the headline, right? He's possibly could be out the league with everything he's been doing.
Side note, update on Rice. So apparently, with the club incident, apparently he messaged the photographer to come back to the club, and that's when he punched him in the face.
Oh my God.
So the dude left, and then he messaged him saying, "Hey, come up." And the photographer thought that he wanted Rice to take a photo. So he comes back like, "Hey, all right, what's up? You guys need photos?" Bam.
Whose man's is this? Riddell, whose man's is this? This is your wide receiver one.
Oh, he's your wide receiver.
Bro, I don't
This your wide
know.
receiver one.
What is wrong with this Chiefs wide receiver room? They just think they are all that. Y'all not all that. Rashee Rice, I'm gonna keep it on.
Letting
Not that
Valdez
good.
letting
You're not
Valdez
good enough to be
go
athletic.
looks horrible right now. Letting him go looks horrible.
Who?
Letting Valdez Scantling go looks horrible now.
I
just signed with
mean,
the Bills.
Hollywood Brown is better than MVS, so I'm not mad
What?
at it.
I got you, but you know what? Since we did it last week, let's do it again. Here is the Chiefs receiving core, right? And if you want to know how I feel about them, go watch the goddamn short because we were having fun. All right. Obviously, Rashee Rice could be out the league.
Jail.
Justin Watson.
Who?
Yeah, he's mid, bro.
Ross.
Who?
Like
Mid.
Dev tried to say before the injury, but he had the injury.
Who? Justin Ross?
Justin
Yeah.
Ross. No, Justin Ross. I believe.
He's also a criminal. He got suspended. I'm
Yeah,
tired of criminals on this team, bro. Yo,
No, wait, what did Justin Ross do? Because
I
think he was
forget, but he got
wild.
suspended because of what he did.
Let me
another
find out.
criminal,
Let me
bro.
find out. Justin Ross.
Yo, because I remember all preseason, me and J-Rob were hyping him up like, yo, you remember him in Clemson? Because he was a beast.
He got domestic violence.
Criminals. Tired of these criminals, bro.
Domestic
Straight up.
violence is crazy. He was suspended for like 6 weeks. Then there's Nico Remigio.
Who?
What?
Look,
Who's this?
I said who was that? I obviously this is an NFL player, but you are trying to three-peat here. I'm not saying you got to go get fucking prime Calvin Johnson, but like Tyler Boyd was out there, Riddell. They didn't even take a crack. You didn't offer enough to get Odell to choose the Dolphins over you guys. Hopefully,
Like the third or fourth receiver.
maybe the Bengals just become dumb and let you actually trade for T. Higgins. Maybe that happens. But you had options, and what's the other guy who signed with the Cardinals that visited them last week?
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones. He was in your building. You let him go. You let him leave. And he signed a minimum deal with the Cardinals. So
Which is weird because like he also visited like the Cowboys and I think he visited another big team too, but he signed with the Cardinals. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I don't know why either, but like I said, Brett Veach, and I try to applaud him. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's all those Chiefs
the
facilities.
Tyreek Hill move ultimately worked out. Shout out Trent McDuffie. Shout out L'Jarius Sneed. I think that is
Tyreek getting cooked by
to be
that
fair.
camper again
To
today.
be fair to what I'm saying, he's also getting saved by Steve Spagnuolo, one of the greatest defensive coordinators in our modern history, at the very least.
I'm
Arguably,
about to say, don't do it.
time. Arguably, all time
How?
defensive genius.
How?
All right?
You
I said defensive coordinator.
Riddell, you just said
I said one of. You're crashing out.
no.
for
You
a
say
one
all
of.
time. You gotta have
Yeah, he's one of the
conversations that he does
greatest.
not belong in, Riddell. You gotta have conversations he does
one of
not
the
belong in.
greatest.
He
He's
doesn't
one of the
belong in those conversations.
I mean, when you beat the undefeated Patriots and you create a two great defenses for the Chiefs.
Riddell,
I don't know.
Said,
I don't know.
Riddell,
When you do this stuff, I think you belong in
no,
certain
do
conversations.
not lie to the people. You said Steve Spagnuolo is one of the greatest football defensive minds of all time. You said that.
Just now. I said
You
one
just
of the
said
No.
defensive
Because
coordinator.
now you're amending it because you were wrong the first time. You're wrong the first time. When you're saying defensive coordinator, you're putting him in the same conversation as Bill Belichick. You're putting him in the same conversation as Bill Belichick.
Before I asked the question, is he? That's what I asked about, and this was like a couple of months ago. Now he is one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time, for sure.
You're putting him in the same conversation as Bill Belichick,
Bill
Jim Johnson, Vince Lombardi. Like you're putting him in Buddy Ryan. You put him in those conversations. All of them had success as head coaches. And Steve Spagnuolo.
I said defensive coordinator. I didn't say
he's keeping it with defensive coordinator.
Very political.
Defensive minds. That's when it gets iffy.
Very political of Riddell.
Before I asked the question, but I'm standing 10 toes as a defensive coordinator.
I mean, to Riddell's point, though, as a defensive coordinator, he does have the accolades to be in some of those conversations. Not that he can be number one, but he has some of the like. I'm not gonna give it to him over the Steel Curtin or Wade Phillips, even or Bill Belichick,
Buddy Ryan. Like some of the greatest.
Yeah, but if you want to say he's at the lower end of tier 1 or the very top of tier 2,
I think as great.
But also, if he wins another chip,
three-peat. Come on.
Hold on. As great as him being the guy who took down the 7-0 Patriots, getting blown out.
He has the most Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator.
Getting blown out in a Super Bowl. Getting blown out in a Super Bowl should also count against him. Losing 30-9 should also count against Steve Spagnuolo because he was the defensive coordinator when that happened, when Brady torched his defense. Torched it.
Was he the defensive coordinator then?
Yes, he was. He's been the defensive coordinator since Mahomes has been there.
I mean, everybody has blemishes, so is Bill Belichick. It doesn't really mean much.
Name one time Bill Belichick as a defensive coordinator got blown out in the Super Bowl. Go ahead and name it.
As a head coach, he got blown out, and not blown out, but Eagles.
We're talking about
defensive coordinators. No. We're talking defensive coordinators. You set the parameter.
Yeah, but you're talking about blemishes. Bill Belichick controls the defense.
No. You're acting like I'm not letting you change this up, Riddell.
Okay,
we're talking defensive coordinators.
That's where you
set the parameters at.
Hold on. You were being nasty because we got to recognize the problem in that Super Bowl was the fact that the offensive line couldn't block and Patrick Mahomes was consistently getting pressured.
What does that have to do with his defense? What does that have to do with his defense?
The offense can't move the chains.
Losing 30-9.
Okay, Brandon's just
losing,
talking. Now
getting
he's just
blown.
talking.
How,
now
how,
he's just chatting.
You
bro.
got blown out.
If you can't do anything on the offensive side of the ball, you're turning it over. You're not moving down. You have bad field possession. Your defense can only do so much.
So how was Bill Belichick able to stop the freaking Bills when his offense was compromised with a backup quarterback running his offense, and they found a way to beat the Bills in 1990? How did they do it?
That's a different time. This time is not the same. What are you talking about?
You can't put him at the top. You can't put him as one of the best defensive coordinators when you get blown out 30-9. I never said he
was the same level as Bill Belichick. You're just crashing.
You put him in tier 1. You putting him there.
I said he's one of the greatest.
Bill Belichick is the greatest. His resume has a huge blemish, Riddell.
Is the greatest.
It has a huge blemish.
even being the greatest defensive mind of all time, you have blemishes.
Now we're bringing up defensive minds again, Lottie. When he said defensive coordinators, when Bill
Because that's what
Belichick,
you're
his
talking
resume
about.
clears. He doesn't have
As
a
a
blemish
head
like that on
coach,
his record.
resume clears.
Buddy
You
Ryan
have
doesn't have
blemishes.
anything like that either.
You have
Buddy Ryan
blemishes.
doesn't have anything like that either. Jim Johnson doesn't have anything like that either.
As defensive coordinators? Are you saying
No,
I would
no,
have
he
to go
doesn't.
with- 'cause
Wade
I'm
Phillips
so
doesn't have
confused. Are we
anything like
talking?
that
I'm so
either.
confused. Are we talking about defensive coordinators, defensive
Ask
line?
Riddell because
or head
now he's
coaches?
bringing up defensive
No,
minds.
because he keeps on bringing up people who are head coaches. Like he's
No, but all
mixing the
the
two.
guys as coordinators were better, and none of them. All the
Are
guys
they more?
that you
Were they more accomplished? That's the thing.
No,
Were they
no,
more
no, 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 no,
accomplished
no.
as
What I'm
defensive
saying
coordinators?
is all the guys that he wants to put Steve Spagnuolo in, all those conversations, none of them have the blemish that Steve Spagnuolo has as a defensive
One, I
coordinator.
don't think that's true. And two, we also have to recognize the talent that's on the team as well. So I think you're dragging it because the Chiefs' defensive talent has not been great throughout this entire tenure.
If we're
He's
talking
30 to 9,
we're
made them
talking
great.
strictly defensive coordinators.
30 to 9,
Random
Riddell. So
Riddell.
we're
We're
just
talking
going
about
to
strictly-
disavow that like it didn't happen. 30 to 9.
Yeah, there's called context. There's a lot going on in that game.
The one out of the last 10 years, the one blowout that we have had in the Super Bowl is his.
But
And that was
we-
mostly due to the offense not being able to do anything. What are we talking about?
Oh my God.
What are we talking about?
Oh my God. So now it's Mahomes' fault.
That's
It's
exactly why. That's
it's
exactly
not Mahomes'
why
fault. It
the
was not
Broncos
Mahomes'
got
fault.
blown. The reason why the Broncos got blown out so bad is because the offense couldn't do anything.
I think the defense.
That's exactly why. When your offense
Do you
can't
remember
do
that
anything,
game, Randall?
stuff like
Do you
that
remember
happens.
Because wait, in Riddell's defense, weren't like two of your offensive linemen out that game?
the Chiefs
They
were
had no
still favored.
tackles.
The
They
Chiefs
had
were
no
still favored.
tackles, and
The Chiefs were still favored.
Patrick Mahomes
People-
was running for his life.
The
He was
Chiefs were
literally
still
running- I
favored,
thought he
and
was
they
gonna
were
die that
picked.
night.
The Chiefs were still favored, and they were picked to win that Super Bowl.
So
Well, they were wrong.
Bucks were the better team.
Not according to
Who
what I
cares
was
about
hearing.
what they were favored? They were
30
wrong.
I'm not letting a 30 to 9 blemish on a guy you're trying to put in the top
But when-
defensive
but
coordinator
when
talk
Patrick Mahomes-
slide.
we can literally pull up the clips with Patrick Mahomes.
That's great.
literally running sideline to
That's
sideline.
great.
doing
That's great. I'm
Herculean
not letting 30 to
throws.
9 slide.
But at the same time, he is arguably one of the greatest defensive coordinator accomplishments of all time, being a not great team, beating an undefeated offensive
And that's
juggernaut.
what. So they cancel out then, because everybody else in that
And
discussion
then
that
he,
you want to
and
put
then
him
he won
in,
2 Super Bowls. So even
Bill
if those two things
Bill
canceled out,
Belichick won.
he then
Bill
won 2
Belichick
Super
won
Bowls.
2. Buddy Ryan won 1. The guy for the steel curtain won
Okay,
4.
then it evens out. Belichick won 1.
None of those
won
guys
2,
that you want to put
and
in
then
the
Spaz won
conversation
2.
have
You
that
wanna do-
blemish.
If you want to
None
do
of
these
them.
stupid games,
None of
we
them
could
have
do
that
it.
blemish.
We could do
I
it.
don't think it cancels out. I think one is clearly better than the other, unfortunately, because
None of the guys that Riddell wants to put Steve Spagnuolo in the conversation in have that blemish.
This literally pains me to say, and I hate the fact that
Oh my God.
I hate the fact that I have to admit this to Riddell. I hate the fact that I have to even say this. But beating a 16-0 team is way bigger than losing 30 to 9 when the offense literally can't do anything. Like if it was 30 to 24, okay, you gave up 30 points. If it was 30 to 17, okay,
I'm not
you gave
letting
up
it
30
slide.
points. They
I'm not
literally
letting it
couldn't do
slide.
anything. The receivers couldn't catch the ball.
I'm
The
not letting it
offensive
slide.
line couldn't
The
defend.
Chiefs were
Patrick Mahomes.
undisciplined. At one point, Tyrann Mathieu tried to say Brady called him the N-word, and then Michael
does that
Irvin
have
had
to
to
do
shoot
with
that
anything?
down. They were he didn't call a good game. He was bad. The Chiefs defense was bad. So they were blown out.
They couldn't do anything.
No, they were bad. From the start of the game, they were bad.
I remember watching that game, rooting
From
for
the
Tom
start of the
Brady,
game,
but
Lonnie,
feeling bad for
The
Mahomes.
only Super Bowl that Tom Brady ever scored a first quarter touchdown in was that one. The only one. What are we doing here? They
Tom
were
fucking
bad.
Brady, though. He's Tom Brady.
Then how come he's never scored a first quarter Super Bowl in any
If
other
you
Super
wanna
Bowl but
bring-
that
That's
one?
Don't
low-key a
bring
bad
Tom-
stat, Randall.
Don't
That's
bring
low-key
Yeah,
a
Tom
bad
Brady-
a bad
stat.
stat for Steve. A bad stat
Do
for
not- do-
Steve.
So you're saying
you're picking and you're being really weird
No,
right
I'm
now
not picking
because
and choosing. I'm telling you what
about-
happened in
I
that
don't
game.
know what we're talking
We're
about.
bringing up first quarter touchdowns. What are we doing?
Lonnie.
You're
So the
criticizing
the
one Super
Every
Bowl
Super Bowl that
with the
that Tom
offense
Brady has
obviously
never
not
done in
being
any
able to do
Super Bowl,
anything.
Let that one happen.
Not great defensive talent,
We have to
and
rewatch
then
that
you're
Super Bowl,
discounting the fact
'cause we
that
can
what he
rewatch
did
that
on the
Super
New
Bowl, you
York
can see
Giants.
the
You're
bad
discounting the
field
fact what he
positions
did
that
with the
they were
They
Chiefs
were
recently.
bad.
Like, what
From
are
the
we
start
talking
of the
about?
game, they were bad. Bad field position.
What was worse, the offense or the defense?
Both were bad. It was a
No, what was
complete
worse?
total
What was worse?
failure.
What was worse? What was worse? The
It was a
offense or the
complete total failure. If the defense, this is where I would agree with you. If the defense even held up for a half, I would agree with you. But since the Bucks were scoring touchdowns from off rip, it doesn't matter. They were both bad.
Can we look up Riddell? Can you look up, or Random? Can you look up how many sacks and QB hits happened that game?
Oh my God.
I don't even know why we're going down this road. I feel like Random just crashing out,
I'm
right
not
now.
crashing out. I'm telling y'all what happened in that game. This isn't
And
like
we're telling you,
trying
we're
to give
giving
you
you
context.
context.
I'm
We're
giving
giving
y'all
you
context too. This isn't like the Bucks started scoring in the second half. They started scoring from the start of the game. That's what happened.
Mahomes couldn't do anything. What's up, Shar?
I don't understand
Okay,
why y'all are disavowing that. They're driving down the field.
Patrick Mahomes was running for his life. He
That's
was running
great.
for his life the
That's
whole game.
great. That's
They couldn't
great.
catch the ball the whole game.
That's great.
So-
The whole
so-
game. This is what once again, I would agree with you guys if the Bucks could not score at all for like the first quarter or the first half. Not when the Chiefs could have been healthy. They're still losing that game because that defense couldn't stop the Bucks.
So if you're
So,
getting three and
Random,
out, three and
Random.
out, three and out, three and out.
Yeah,
But
even
the
though
Bucks are
even though-
scoring.
field
They're
position.
scoring. They're
Random,
scoring.
even though
It's the
you're
greatest
even though
quarterback of all time. It's the greatest quarterback of all time.
No, we're not giving them that. No, we're not. I'm not letting y'all
Random,
get away
even
with
though
that.
you're
Tom
chatting,
They were
Brady.
scoring
even
in the first quarter. They were scoring
Even
from
though
when
you're
the game
chatting,
started, Lonnie.
Tom
They're
Brady
scoring from when
with
from
Mike
when the game
Evans and
started.
Chris Goodwin. What are we talking about?
They were scoring from when the
And
game
Antonio
started.
Brown
They
and
were
Rob
scoring
Gronkowski.
from when the game started, Lonnie. That's what happened. Even if the Chiefs line was healthy, they were losing that game
You
because the
expected
defense couldn't
anyone.
stop the
You
Bucks.
expected anyone with zero offense to stop Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Mike
This
Evans,
is my
Chris
thing.
Goodwin.
The way the
Antonio
defense was
Brown.
playing, Lonnie, you can name all the great players. The way the defense was playing, even if Mahomes had a healthy line, they were losing
God
that game.
himself-
You watched
God
the game,
himself
Lonnie.
could have been the
You
defensive
watched the
coordinator.
game.
They were winning. They were winning that game. God
You
himself
watched the
could have been
game.
the defensive coordinator.
You watched the game, Lonnie. They were scoring off rip.
You could have.
That's
had
what happened.
Jesus, you could have had Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, all on the defense. They were still getting torched. They were still getting.
And that's
torched
what
that
I'm saying, because Spagnuolo was bad. He was bad in that game.
because there was nothing that they could have done.
Oh my God. What are we talking? Because look, once again, did the Bucks score when did the Bucks start scoring? When did they start scoring, Lonnie?
You're not getting what I'm saying. I don't care that they scored in the first quarter for the first time or whatever. There was nothing that defense could have done. I don't care who was the defensive coordinator. There was nothing they could have done. Why? Because they had zero offensive production.
And I'm saying the way they played that game, Mahomes could have been healthy. They were losing that game.
They were losing the game
His line could have been
regardless.
healthy. They were losing that game. Even if that meant Brady won 30-27, they were losing that game.
Bill
That's how
Belichick
bad
could
the
have been the
defense
defensive
was.
coordinator. They're still getting 30 dropped on them. They're still getting
Because
30 dropped on them.
It wasn't just. Tell me at what point did the
Jimmy
defense?
Johnson could have been the defensive coordinator.
Y'all
They're
are-
still getting 30
You are
dropped on them.
acting. You are acting like the Bucks weren't scoring off rip. If the defense, this is my thing. If the defense held up
Do
for
we
even
forget
a
what the
half,
Bucks were doing
I would
that
agree
year
with
towards
you.
the end of the
They
season?
did it though.
Do
They
we
did it
forget what the
though.
Bucks were doing towards the end of that season? Because
It
they were
don't
unstoppable.
matter. It don't matter. If the defense held up for even a quarter, I would agree with you. But that's not what happened. The Chiefs actually put up the first points.
Well, guess what? Even if they held up for a quarter, it doesn't matter because they only put up 9 points.
Oh my God! The fact that you are legitimately disavowing this effort that the defense gave up.
so you're
They were
saying
bad off rip.
You wanted
That's
them
what
to help-
happened,
you wanted them
Lonnie.
to
You
hold-
watched the
held-
game.
You wanted them to hold the Bucks to under 9 points? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
but they were bad off rip. They were bad from the start of the game, Lonnie. That's what the
There was
defense
nothing they
did.
could have
The Chiefs defense was
done.
bad from the start of the game.
There was nothing they could have done.
There was nothing they could have done, even though the Bucks punted first. The Chiefs scored first. And they were bad off rip. The fact that you
If
don't
the
like
Bucks
that stat, the
punted
only
first,
time
how
Tom
they
Brady
bad
ever
off rip?
scored.
Random is contradicting himself, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're gotta
No.
crash it out.
The fact that you guys are disavowing this stat in every Super Bowl that Tom Brady has ever played,
I'm sorry,
including the
that
other
stat
two.
does not matter at all.
Yes,
That-
it does.
that
Yes,
really
it does.
doesn't.
Yes, it
It really
does.
doesn't
Because
matter at all.
including the other two times he faced the man and he couldn't score in the first quarter, but this time he scores on him because the guy was bad.
Because he has
coached a
Mike
bad
Evans,
game.
Rob
He had a bad
Gronkowski,
defensive game
Chris
plan.
Goodwin,
The Chiefs were
Antonio
undisciplined.
Brown.
What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here?
So let me ask you a couple questions, Random. So Bill Belichick, when was he the defensive coordinator of the New York Giants? Can you tell me?
From I want to say the mid '80s to the
so
late
Lawrence
mid-90s.
Lawrence Taylor's tenure.
Yeah, I don't know
1979
exactly.
to 1990 is what I looked up. So 1980, the defense was bad when he was a defensive coordinator. Defense was good in 81. No, we want to be petty and all everything. Belichick had a terrible defense one of these seasons while he was the defensive coordinator. They were 4-12, by the way. But hey man, if Belichick is so great, it's great. He was a great defensive coordinator. Blah 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 blah. All right, whatever. All right, let's keep on looking through it. Now, some good seasons, even though they were not winning games at all. 3-12. You know what I'm saying? Mid defense in 1983. Shout out Bill Parcells, now joined the team. Now 7-9, good defense. I mean, I expected. Bill Belichick is a good defensive coordinator. Sometimes 9-7, finally winning some games. You know what I'm saying? And then once Bill Parcells got there, they started cooking. It's crazy. They started cooking when Bill Parcells got over there with Bill Belichick's. That's interesting. So if we're really talking about the full conversation, acting like the defense coordinators can control the entirety of the situation, well, even
they
Belichick
can't. They can control their side of the ball. That's what I'm
even
saying.
Belichick has had dog shit defensive coordinator seasons. Then I don't know what the point of this conversation is.
And Bill
I'm not gonna
Belichick
lie.
was never taken advantage of in the Super Bowl like Steve Spagnuolo was.
He was his
Never.
team wasn't good enough to make the
Never.
playoffs. What were
It
you
never
making?
happened. It never happened. It
What
never
are you
happened.
talking about right
I
now,
don't know
bro?
what
It
Randall's
never
talking about.
happened for Bill Belichick. In the
We're
biggest
talking about
game of
first
the
quarter
year,
touchdowns. Now
in
we're
the
talking
biggest
about
game
this
of the
bullshit.
year, where you are saying that Steve Spagnuolo is one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time, you cannot get blown out like that. You can't. You
So
cannot.
in 1985, hold on.
Click on Dub Nation's
Hold
chat
on.
right now. Click on
In
Dub Nation's chat.
1985, the Bears blew out the Giants 21-0.
Click
What
on
now?
Dub
Was that in the
Nation's
Super
chat.
Bowl?
Please-
Was that in the
please
Super
click
Bowl?
on
It was in the
Dub Nation's chat.
playoffs. It was in the playoffs, in the division and championship. What are you saying now, Randall? They got blown out 21-0. Bill Belichick
Okay,
was defensive coordinator.
so when Marcus Mariota came back and threw a
Oh,
touchdown pass to himself
Oh
in the
my
playoffs.
God,
What are we talking about? No. We being petty, right? When we're being petty, right? When one of the
Click on Dub
best
Nation's
game
chat.
of Marcus Mariota's
Click
career.
on Dub Nation's chat. The Chiefs can't be bad off rip though. If their defense only allowed 7 in the first quarter and didn't allow another score until 6 minutes in the second, that means that the defense did their job.
30-9 says wonders for me. 30-9
21-0. 21-0.
Yeah,
I can
9
bring it up
points
too,
from
bro.
Patrick
I can bring it
Mahomes
up
says
too.
wonders for me.
21-0.
9 points from Patrick Mahomes says
Go-
wonders for me.
Just go ahead, keep giving this guy.
I
day
remember
off.
the game because I was rooting for Tom Brady. I remember the game. I remember the bad field position. I remember the special team plays. I remember Patrick Mahomes running for his life, losing like 10, 15 yards at a time.
It was a complete.
I remember the
team failure
drop
that day.
passes.
It was a complete team failure that day.
It was an offensive failure.
It was a complete team failure.
They
that day.
failed the defense.
It was a
They
complete
messed the
team failure.
defense up. They put the defense in bad field position against the greatest quarterback of all time.
It was a
That's
complete
what they
team
did.
failure that day. They were ranked. They were favored. People still picked them to win that game,
Why are we talking about
despite
Vegas?
the injuries or
Why are we
whatever.
talking about Vegas?
There was a
When I brought up
complete.
Vegas yesterday, it didn't
It was a
matter.
complete
When I
team
brought up
failure
Vegas
that day.
yesterday, it didn't matter.
It was a complete team failure. That day.
Anyhow, the point was he's not even saying he's the best, just saying he's one of the best defensive coordinators. That's the only reason we brought this up. How did we get here? Oh, Steve Spagnuolo is also bailing out Brett Veach, by the way. You know, he's definitely uplifting that talent. Even though I really like McDuffie, I like Snead, but Spags is a great coordinator. So having Spags and Andy Reid control the ship while Brett Veach makes mid moves, that man is lucky. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know what the Chiefs are doing. Oh my goodness, man. I don't know, man. They basically let L'Jarius Sneed go for nothing. They didn't even replace him. Like, come on, bro.
You're the one that told me that they had good corners.
Overall, but it started with L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. And if you're gonna let Sneed go, what should you do? Get a corner to replace him. Oh, I'm Brett Veach. I don't need to do that. I don't need to. Trent McDuffie is gonna play now on the outside, even though he's a elite slot corner. But now you're gonna have him play on the outside.
Sorry, I'm watching the game too.
Yo, we don't care about the Celtics' easy road to the finals, bro. We don't care about this.
Is Donovan Mitchell actually playing in that game?
No, he's cheering for them though in some sweatpants.
Karis LeVert's not playing either.
Fraudulent ass run.
Hey, that's not on us. That's not on us.
No Jimmy Butler, no Donovan Mitchell, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Brunson misses next series. I'm not gonna lie, because he's getting banged up, bro.
Hey, is OG gonna play next series?
All that just to lose to Jokic in the finals. That's crazy.
Hey, where's your team at?
That's fine.
Not in the finals.
That's fine. You'll be sitting right next to me, mad that you lost to Jokic as well. That's fine.
Hey,
Congratulations. You just played basketball for 3 more weeks.
I have a reason to be mad. At least I'll have a reason to be mad. Y'all just watching.
We also have a reason to be mad. We lost to the champions. We lost to the one team that we couldn't beat. It's fine. Hold on one second, guys.
Can't hate outside the club when you guys can't even get in. Just
hey man, I also recently listened to the Chris Brown diss track on was it Quavo?
Yeah.
He kind of slid on that. I'm not gonna lie. Chris Brown kind of cooked on that one. He cooked. And when he said the wrong one, the wrong one died, I'm like, damn, that's tough.
No, when he said that he slept with Sweetie while they were still dating, and she didn't deny that shit, and she kind of
was tough.
She kind of just said, "So what?"
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You kind of got bitched by Chris Brown.
And then I just saw a video today of like Chris Brown and Sweetie, like they were at like a basketball game, and she's just like blushing right next to him. Well, apparently it was around the time she was still dating Quavo. I'm just like, bruh.
Chris Brown is too like he's like a complete superstar. He just kind of gets it in his own way. Mm-hmm. Like he could be bigger than he currently is, but he gets it in his own way.
Yeah, I agree.
That's tough. Also, shout out Childish Gambino. I don't know if people have been listening to that song that apparently was already out, but it was a demo, but now it's officially out. It's kind of going over on TikTok. Gambino is one of the most talented people, period. Just period.
I agree.
Quavo released a diss track?
No, we're talking about the one that Chris Brown released on Quavo.
All right, what's the next topic?
All right, the next topic. I want to kind of go a little bit off the path. Netflix officially entered the NFL game by them signing a 3-year deal with the NFL to stream the doubleheader Christmas games for the next 3 years, starting this year. I think Steelers Chiefs is one of the games. How do you guys feel about the NFL spreading out their kind of event games out? And do you see this in the future? Do you see this happening with other things in the future? Obviously, Amazon Prime has the Thursday night games. Netflix is getting in the Christmas games. Do you think maybe Apple TV or somebody can get in on another game? How do we feel about the NFL diversifying like this? And this leads up to one question that we talked about earlier, Riddell, like I think like 6 months ago, and I'm gonna bring it up again at the end of this conversation.
So when it comes to all these streaming services, like we have to realize that like these companies are slowly starting to catch on because like more people have like Netflix and Hulu than they have cable.
it's starting to shift. It's starting to shift. Even if it's not even or the other way around yet, like a lot more people have Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, Max, or whatever, Prime Video, than they did like 5, 6, 7 years ago. So if you know, like, oh, a lot of these people don't have cable anymore, they don't have these services, we need to figure out a way to reach those consumers. How do they do that? We go to the streaming services that they're paying for over cable. And so like we're seeing that that's what's going on. I'm sorry, Hulu's basically becoming cable. I have Hulu Live. That's just basically cable. It's the same price.
YouTube TV is basically cable.
YouTube TV is basically cable.
Is cable. It absolutely is cable.
YouTube TV. Shout out Random, because the only reason I'm using it is because of Random. Elite, absolutely elite.
Unlimited DVR is amazing.
Hulu has unlimited DVR too. So it's like, yeah, but does cable? No. But anyway, yeah, it's to reach the consumers that are leaving cable. And so like I feel like this is the next step. So like you'll see like what, because Prime Video has their NBA and NFL deals, Max has an NBA deal, Apple TV has the soccer contracts and baseball contracts, and I think they're trying to look into buying NBA for next year. So all these streaming services are trying to get all these different contracts with all these big sporting companies. So it's just like the next phase of media.
Real quick, Riddell, to let you guys know, the last great ratings draw that is available on TV anymore is live sports. So obviously the big thing, a lot, anybody who loves watching the NBA, TNT was outbid by the NBC, according to Bill Simmons, right? TNT, and it looks like the NBC and the Inside the NBA show is gonna go. So the greatest sports show of all time might be gone unless NBC decides to keep it. But just kind of letting you guys go, like Lonnie's right. It's becoming more and more like cable every day. I only have YouTube TV and Netflix, and that's all I'm keeping. I guess you can say Crunchyroll too.
Oh, I got it all.
I only have 3. I'm not getting any more. And if Netflix ups their price one more time, deuces, bro. I've been rocking with y'all since
trying to add so much more stuff, because now we get the Jake Paul fight. That's gonna be on.
And then they're about to put WWE on Netflix. Netflix is cooking.
They're adding all the anime on Netflix.
I'll talk to a girl, get her Netflix password. It ain't what are we talking about. But
now they're starting to mess with the later this summer. They're Netflix.
So I slide her a couple bucks to get my own profile. We're fine.
Facts.
I think they're doing it off of IP addresses, so I don't know.
I'll slide her a couple bucks to get my own profile.
Yeah, you can buy you can get the a version. It'll cost a little bit more to share it.
Mm-hmm. So at this rate, it's becoming more and more like cable, and hopefully the masses understand that. But yes, Dub Nation, they do have a Disney Plus bundle.
That's a bundle I got.
Riddell, what were you gonna say?
So this is something I mentioned back on BSS Black Sense Society. Make sure you guys go subscribe. That Netflix, and I was trying to figure out the other company. It was Netflix, Peacock, and it was Apple TV Plus are teaming up to form their own streaming bundle through Comcast, which will be offered at a vastly reduced price. So as of right now, a lot of these companies are competing, but now they're kind of working together to basically put cable out of business. Cable, you're cooked. You're cooked. You're done. So you're going to get put out of business very, very soon. And I mean, it is what it is. And all these sports channels are going to start moving over to these kind of networks. And if more bundles or more basically new types of like streaming networks get created, then it's just going to make cable absolutely obsolete because all these sports programs can move over there. I'm not mad at it ultimately because of, you just got to know a guy or know a tool. So I'm not too pressed about it, but this is kind of the new age. And honestly, cable, I mean, what's the problem with cable? You can't pick what you want to watch whenever you want to watch it. And commercials are annoying as hell. So it is what it is. It's just a new age. Your cable's cooked. It is what it is.
Yeah, but y'all getting them ad tiers on all the streaming services now. So It's just
I
it's
paid
it's
for
like
no
a
ads.
cycle.
I paid
Yeah,
for
I
no
also I also pay for no ads, but it's just a cycle. But at this rate, I do want to bring up a thing that me and Riddell talked about right when we first kind of met each other. I watched a conversation on Dan Levitard where they were talking about the Super Bowl possibly being on pay-per-view. And this was with the guy who used to run ESPN and a former general manager of a professional baseball team who now is in those sports business talks. At the time, Riddell was very like, I don't see it happening. I also said, I think the fact that those conversations are happening, that they're hearing about them, is something. Now, is this going to happen next year? No.
I don't think it would ever happen.
Are you sure?
Here's what I do think will happen with the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be in a few years. It will be open auction every year for whatever streaming service.
So
Like,
then
it's gonna be a bidding war.
So I agree with you. I would agree with you. I think they're gonna worm your way up to that. Now, does that mean that, let's just say Netflix wins it? They bid $3 billion, they get it.
Well, I
Do
think
you
it's gonna be like a yearly thing, not like a yearly thing, but I think it's gonna be things like in advance. So like we know it's on
Because it's the three ones that get it now is CBS, Fox, and I'm missing one. Is it ABC, or do they just switch? Oh, and NBC, yeah, CBS, Fox, and NBC.
I'll say
They
like
get it now.
say like
ESPN,
it started this year. I feel like
Yeah.
next year they'll be like they're gonna do like it in advance. They're gonna do it in advance. So it's like
well,
Netflix gets 2025, Amazon gets 26, Hulu gets 27, stuff like that. Like they'll do it like in groups.
I wonder if they will find a way to price out the regular ones, like because they've been paying obviously billions for the Super Bowl right now. I just think they enter the rotation. So if CBS, you get it this year, but then you won't get it for 8 more years, because I don't think the sports networks who understand basically, and to kind of put in the layman's term, every Super Bowl is basically what Mr. Beast does. Every Super Bowl is a Mr. Beast video, and TV cannot produce like that. So I just think CBS and all the traditional ones, the traditional powers, are not going to get priced out. I think they're just going to up their price to keep up with the streaming services.
Yeah, ultimately, I don't think it'll ever get pay-per-view. I think you're risking way too much by putting it on a pay-per-view. But I can 100% see it being put on a streaming service. Like, I mean, the WWE is a perfect example in terms of how they put all their now called PLEs on Peacock. Like, you can watch all of them, just have a Peacock subscription, which I do have, and you can just watch it, and that's fine. You don't have to pay anything extra. You just watch it on Peacock. So I'm sure Peacock paid a lot of money to get all their PLEs on their platform, including WrestleMania. So that's probably just what's going to happen. And I mean, that's just the new age. I'm not too angry at it. I mean, it kind of needs to happen because once cable gets cooked, and it needs to be on a streaming service anyway. So I think NFL kind of realizes that eventually they need to put all their games on a streaming service.
To be fair, the NFL is stepping on a lot of people's toes with, they took Christmas from the NBA. They don't respect the tournament anymore with the draft and all that stuff. They took out baseball a while ago, because for a while, what it used to be, they used to respect, the NFL used to respect like opening day and things like that and not let that happen. But now they don't care. Like,
They shouldn't.
So now
who cares anymore about opening day?
Maybe not opening day, but like the baseball playoffs, like they used to really work their way around that, but now they don't care. So now you're really
I wouldn't care either.
Yeah, now you're really seeing the NFL really flex its muscles, because the fact that the schedule release is now affecting this. By the way, I remember, when did the schedule release become this big thing that is now like ESPN's around it and all that stuff?
It's when social media started getting big. I think it got bigger the last few years, because like now every team does like their little own specials and stuff like that.
Shout out to the Chargers. They may not win on the field, but they definitely win the schedule release.
Yeah, Chargers did their thing. Apparently, like I got a notification that Titans got someone off of Broadway to do something for their schedule release. So it's this whole new event thing now. But speaking of schedules, because Prodigy said he wanted to dive into.
Yeah, I was about to get into it. So I wanted all of us to pick a team from Riddell, I'll give you the NFC North. I will take the AFC North, and you can pick it and pick one team from there. I'm picking the AFC North because I want to talk about the Browns and the fact that they have the hardest schedule in football. And let's just kind of talk through
Do you
what
guys
the
want to
Browns schedule is going to
do?
be.
Do you guys want to do the primetime schedule first? Because they released the full Monday Night Football schedule.
We can do that.
Yeah, why not?
Do these teams deserve primetime? So
I think
First
every team
primetime
gets
game.
one, right? Every team gets one primetime game.
I'm not sure, to be honest. But
they'll
I'm gonna
flip
keep
it.
track of this. I'm gonna keep track of this. Say which teams are really getting primetime. Well, this is Monday, so this is only
I'll
Monday.
cover the Cowboys schedule. That'll be
Okay.
like the one I do.
NFC North, Bears, obviously, for sure. Lock in. September 1st, primetime, Monday night game, 49ers versus Jets. Should be interesting. You know what?
That's a good game. That's gonna be a good game.
Aaron Rodgers about to get exposed again. Crazy. Also, the guy
Put
that
him on a
injured
Monday
him
night
last
is so
year
devious.
is on the 49ers.
It's so
Leonard Floyd.
devious. Sorry?
Leonard Floyd is the guy who injured him last year. He's on the 49ers.
That's tough, man.
That is tough.
That's
That
tough.
is tough.
Even
Oh,
look,
man.
change everything up that you did from last year. Give the flag to somebody else. You walk out to the field like everything that you did last year.
Don't walk
change
out.
up
You
the whole
moonwalk.
mojo.
You moonwalk. Test that Achilles.
Yeah, bro. Like you didn't do any ayahuasca. Do some ayahuasca. Like just chill, bro. Just chill.
Our next one is Falcons Eagles. We talked about earlier, which I hope it's a good game.
I think that
it'll
could be some fireworks in that game.
A lot of tush push. Whole lot of tush push.
Man, Kenyon Mitchell, Jerry Slay, and Drake London, man, we here, bro. Next Jaguars Bills. Next is the next
Bills,
Monday game.
I think Bills win that game.
I think that's gonna be one of those like nasty games that's just like rough. it's hard to
17
watch.
12 in the fourth quarter, and we're like, God, why are we watching this game?
Nah, I'm expecting a banger. Last game they played last year was a good game. When they played overseas in London, it was a good game.
I just feel like it's gonna be
Yeah, but like the Jaguars basically live over there. Like, of course it's a good game.
I
They
just feel
got
like
two
it's gonna
games
be a
over there
dogfight
this
game.
year.
I'm just getting a dogfight feel. Not that
Potentially.
that's bad.
No, I'm not mad at it. I don't know how this is a Monday night game. Washington Bengals.
You got to give Washington a game. So just get it over with early.
Hey, like Jaden, I do expect to ball out a little bit. If he can learn how to fucking slide, he can be what RG3 was supposed to be.
Yeah, I just
Be
looked
what
it up.
RG3 was supposed to be.
Every team gets one primetime game outside of a Thursday night game. So whether it's on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, every team gets one. So you got to see the Cardinals. You're going to see the Cardinals on Sunday Night Football, and you're like, because Dub Nation, to answer your question about why the Jaguars keep getting overseas games, because the owner wants to move there, but it just doesn't make sense logistically. So he just keeps sending them over there for the international.
The technical reason is that he owns a soccer team in London, and so like it's convenient for him to be one of the main people to have one of the main teams to go to London, so he can attend like his soccer team's games and the football team's games in like the same week or so.
Don't skip out on that. Most of the owner's tenure, the Jaguars have been ass, so nobody's going with games.
Facts. He's not been doing a good job. I'm not gonna lie.
Putting pools in your stadium was a bad idea.
It's Florida. It's hot.
I'm not mad at the pools in the stadium.
It was a bad idea.
It's hot.
It was cool when for the pandemic when AEW was doing them cinematic matches. It was cool, but like, ain't no way I'm in the pool watching my Jaguars lose by 15 when they were bad. Ain't no way.
And make a celebration out of it, man. Make it a good time. Week 4, Titans Dolphins.
Okay.
All right.
We see the Titans have made a lot of moves to support Will Levis. What if
I
the
agree.
Titans are like 3-2 or 3-1 going into that game?
I said the Titans could. I said Will Levis will be the second best quarterback, second best second-year quarterback. No,
Okay.
That's not a super hot take.
Seahawks Lions running it back from last year. It was a good
Okay.
game.
It was a good game. Shout out Geno Smith in a shootout over Jared Goff. Won in
Facts.
overtime.
Saints Chiefs. It's random
Okay.
Monday night game.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Move on.
Who are the Chiefs receivers?
Who cares? Move on. I don't even want
It
to
don't matter. It
Who are
don't
the
matter.
Chiefs receivers?
Justin
That might be the
Ross.
one time,
Justin
one of the few
Ross.
times Derek Carr beats Patrick Mahomes because he just doesn't have anybody to throw to. Brett
Oh,
Veach.
I am serious about this. If Justin Ross can get his shit together, he could be their wide receiver one.
Hey, man.
He's had 3 years, Lonnie.
He had spinal surgery and he beat up a chick. I don't know what to tell you.
They've been looking at him. He's been in their practice for 3 years. There's a reason why he's not getting more chances.
He got a little bit, then he became a criminal. So that's tough.
Rashee Rice came in and took that spot immediately from him.
Yeah, but he's the training camp darling. So lock in.
I mean, it's something that Justin Watson keeps getting reps over him. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, respect those corner routes. Respect.
Training camp legend.
Bills Jets should be a good game.
Should be a
That could
good
be a good
game,
game.
Week 6. Week 7, Ravens Buccaneers. Kind of random, but all right.
Whatever.
I think it's a good game. Didn't they play last year too?
I think so. I just don't remember.
It's just one of those where like maybe the game's a lot closer than it seems, but then the Ravens just kind of pull away.
Sean,
at
I'm
the
just
end.
keeping it 100. he had
It is
did.
a double
he had
header. To be
major
fair.
spinal injury.
Oh, that's right.
And
They
he
do
fought.
that random doubleheader in the middle of the season, right?
There's
Monday night?
there's actually a lot of double headers. Week 3 is a double header. Week 4 is a double header. Week 7 is a double header with Cardinals and Chargers as the other Monday night game.
Oh, Chargers whipping that ass.
Ooh, I don't know. Marvin Harrison Jr. might cook.
We can cook, but the Cardinals should not win that game. Jim Harbaugh, the Cardinals should not win that game.
Hey man, we'll see. We'll see.
Respect MHJ.
Verdell's going to be up here calling Herbert a choke artist again if that happens.
I think Jim Harbaugh can prevent him from being a choke artist. I believe. That's I do believe.
Please.
Week 8, Giants Steelers. That's not moving me.
Whatever.
That's
Move
not
on.
moving me.
I
The
don't
Giants
even
had to
wanna
get
talk
a
about
Monday
it.
night.
Don't
They
even
had to get a
move on.
primetime game.
But
And they're in New
against
York. They get like 3.
Steelers, at least make it like Giants Jets or something. Come
Why,
on.
why are we talking about this?
Why are we talking about the Giants at all? The Steelers are the Steelers are just the better team.
We're still talking about this game. What's the next game, Verdell?
Buccaneers Chiefs. Buccaneers got 2 Monday night games. Okay.
They deserve it. They got a good
Hey,
team.
respect Baker.
All right,
Respect
man.
Baker. Got paid
Is it
too.
me or is Random's camera frozen?
He is, 100%.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Y'all moving perfectly on my stuff, but when it
Week
changes, it's good.
10, Dolphins Rams. Should be
Good
interesting.
game.
Okay, that's a good game. That's a good game. I'm
Pu-
mad at it.
Puka cementing himself as one of the best receivers in the league. I'm pushing Puka
True.
narrative next year.
I'm
yeah,
also pushing
know-
Puka narrative.
Same here. Week 11 is another banger. Banger alert. Texans Cowboys. CJ Stroud versus Michael
Ooh,
Parsons.
CJ
Diggs
Stroud
versus
says,
Diggs, CJ versus Parsons. Oh, that's gonna be a good ass game.
by the way,
Maybe.
I'm surprised. I love them in the offseason. Just them running around for Bleacher Report. They were amazing together.
no,
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
They make great
I'm
content.
glad that they hang out a lot and like we get a lot of content from them because Micah is so delusional about shit.
You saw what he was trying to say. Maryland produces better talent than California, and I'm like, come on,
That was wild. That
you
was
don't even
wild.
produce the best talent on the East Coast. No disrespect,
Hey, no,
California.
respect Maryland. Maryland got some bangers. Hey, they got Caleb. They had Caleb.
Tom Brady.
Fashanu, both
Tom
from
Brady.
Maryland.
Tom Brady.
Diggs,
Tom Brady.
Maryland.
Tom
So,
Brady.
like, they got
Aaron
people.
Rodgers. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers clears everything you got.
California
You're
is
just
a
being
hoe.
hater right
Oh, now I'm being a hoe. Now I'm being a hoe.
now. You are being a hoe. I'm just saying. Oh, now your camera's back. Oh, validity and shit. You're
Hey, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers clears
with
everything
your
you
like
got.
240 pixels.
Hey, don't hate, bro. Don't hate because it's the truth.
Week 12, another banger. Ravens Chargers. Herbert versus Lamar.
That's gonna be a good game.
Did Herbert?
Also,
Harbaugh versus Harbaugh.
Harbaugh versus Harbaugh,
Ooh.
and Greg Roman versus his former team.
Wow, there's a lot.
There's a
of
lot of
things in this game.
narratives. J.K. Dobbins versus his former team. A lot of interesting
Oh,
narratives.
so Shar, we running the gold medals now? All right, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Put some respect on.
Let me find out Michael Phelps is from California. Let me find out.
Week 13, another mad game. Browns versus Broncos.
Yeah, let's just keep it moving.
Yeah, week 14, Bengals Cowboys. Okay. Should be a good
California produces the most. Char.
It's big as hell. Oh, Phelps is from
Oh,
Maryland.
I don't want to hear it. I don't
bitch.
want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Oh, you guys, Michael Phelps. We clear y'all. It's all
We
right.
got the Diggs brothers. What do you
We
mean?
clear y'all. We clear y'all. It's okay.
California is big as hell.
That's
It's like
tough.
20 Marylands.
That's
Like
tough.
20
Don't
Maryland. So by
don't
default,
start don't start fighting above your weight class. Don't start that fight, Micah. Don't start that fight.
Week 15 is a doubleheader. It is Bears versus Vikings and Falcons versus Raiders. I think you could have done better this week. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a Bears versus Vikings.
And Falcons versus Raiders. They could have done better. I'm not gonna lie.
Bears versus Vikings, a divisional game.
Yeah, I don't think the Vikings will be that good.
2 young quarterbacks.
Week 16, Saints Packers. Not moving me.
Not they're just dragging the bottom of the barrel with that one.
Week 17, Lions Niners. Now we're talking again.
That could be for like the number 1 seed.
Potentially 100%. And then week 18 is going to be a doubleheader, but it's to be determined.
That's when they start flexing. They might be flexing since like week 13. So those last 5 or 6 matchups could be all subject to change.
I'm looking at it. I would say
Falcons Raiders is going to get flexed. Falcons Raiders is going to get flexed.
I could see that getting flexed.
Saints Packers is going to get flexed.
Maybe. I would say the most interesting game, prime Monday night game, might be week 11. I'm gonna go week 11, but it could be week 1 with Jets and 49ers.
How many Chiefs get? How many Monday night games did the Chiefs get? I think I only heard
2.
them once.
2 against the Saints and Buccaneers. Like what?
So,
Who cares about the Saints and the Buccaneers?
I mean, I think the Bucks want some kind of consideration.
I mean,
They were the better team. They made the playoffs. I'm just saying. Plus, there's always that the Super Bowl history between them two. I think that matters.
The Falcons did get 2. The Falcons got more Monday night games than the Eagles.
All right, but let's start talking about the teams. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, and I'll talk about the Browns since they have the hardest schedule. Give me 1 second. I accidentally closed out of the tab, but
No facts. Texans versus Cowboys is gonna be a movie. If I could go to that game, I would.
so we're talking Cleveland Browns. They have the hardest schedule. Week 1, they start off with the Cowboys. I remember they made like a little social media thing about it with like Stephen A. Smith. It's at Cleveland. I think if Deshaun Watson returns to form, I know we've said this for 3 years now. If he returns to form, the Browns win that game. Nick Chubb's coming back too, healthy. They got Jared Judy in the offseason. Huh?
Is Nick Chubb's gonna be 100%? Because apparently he's still.
Remember, he got hurt. He got hurt early in the season, so he has
Yeah, but
plenty.
he
of
didn't
time.
just tear his ACL. He tore like 3 other things too.
Even then, was it the backup running back showed that he was very serviceable. So if you can ride with him for a little bit till Nick Chubb is fully healthy. The Browns are the better team. They should win that game.
People don't realize how bad that Nick Chubb injury really was. It wasn't just like his ACL. It was like his ACL, his MCL, and something else all at the same time.
Yeah, Jerome Ford is solid. Too.
Yeah, Jerome Ford was a good player for them last year.
Prodigy, I hope so because I like Nick Chubb.
I do too, but I think the Browns are gonna be pretty.
They got a squad. Look at like Deshaun, Nick Chubb. This if everybody's healthy. Deshaun, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper still good. Jared Judy, if they paid him the money, like he's good, so we're going to take it that way. Elijah Moore, who's good. David Njoku, who's underrated as a tight end. I really like his game. On defense, Myles Garrett, obviously. Denzel Ward, Juan Thornhill. I think he's played well since he came over from the Chiefs. The special teams are good.
They have the African fashion king,
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Put some respect on his name. Nobody got drip like him in the NFL. I said what I said.
I'm gonna raid his closet one day. Let me find out where he lives.
Plus, they got Zadarius Smith from the Packers. They're a very good team. Oh, no way. The Jags went X-Men 97 with their schedule reveal. I'm gonna have to peep that later. But
Also, they got 2-time Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski.
So you got
I think he really showcased himself last year, being able to make the playoffs with all the injuries around his team. Would it be crazy?
Finale just dropped, so I gotta catch up.
Okay. Would it be crazy to say that he's one of the better coaches in the league based off last year?
No, for sure. He's one of probably top 5, top 7, around there.
So week 2, they got the Jags at the Jags. I think they should win that game. Then they have the Giants. They should win that game.
I got the Browns. I mean, I got the Jags.
Yeah, you got the Jags in week 2?
Yep.
Okay. It's at 1 p.m. So, you know. They have the Giants at home. It's a win. The Raiders at in Las Vegas, it's a win. And the Commanders, it's a win. Then week 6, probably gonna be the game of
schedule was hard. Jesus, they got cupcakes.
They got cupcakes to start. So then week 6 is like their first true test, and it's the Eagles at the Eagles.
Okay, there we go. Eagles, yep.
Then they got Cincinnati at home. Then they got Baltimore at home. Then they have the Chargers at home.
Obviously, split Bengals and Ravens.
So yeah, I'm gonna write.
Chargers is gonna be a good one. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait for that Chargers.
So-
Oh no, I'm thinking Chargers Ravens. Chargers Browns. I got Chargers.
So I'm gonna write this down. Consensus: do we think they beat the Cowboys?
If Deshaun Watson played like the last game and a half, I think
They're at home. They're at home, by the way, and it's the primetime game.
If he plays to the level he played his last game before he had that freak injury, they win.
Also, fun fact: that's Brady's first game in the booth.
Okay.
Pouring out for Greg Olsen. I really enjoyed his work, but he got big boyed out of there.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. But I would give it to the Browns because outside of CeeDee Lamb, their weapons, they're gonna get locked.
Who do the Cowboys have? Let me look at their.
Brandon Cooks. How old? But
Jake Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? Jake Ferguson is good.
Look, I understand Brandon Cooks is old,
but the Browns secondary, the Browns defense is elite.
I understand. Look. This is what I'm saying. I understand Brandon
Browns
Cooks
defense
is
is elite as hell.
but he produces with every team he's been at.
I agree. He produced for my team.
He should have won a Super Bowl.
How did he do? How did he do last year? How was Brandon Cooks last year?
He was hurt. Let me look at his thing.
It was pretty solid. It wasn't bad.
He was pretty solid. He had 54 catches for 657 yards and 8 touchdowns. Jesus Christ, 8 touchdowns. My boy, he stays scoring a lot of touchdowns too, Lonnie. He scored a lot.
Well, is Char a Cowboys fan? Because she said Fergie like she a Cowboys fan.
Char's a big Cowboys fan.
Big Cowboys fan.
Let
me look at their
goodness. SMH is shaking my head.
So they have Dak, Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson.
Why'd you make that face?
I don't know. My bad. I don't know who Jalen Tolbert is.
He's a returner, bro. Like he's not
Kevontae Turpin, but he's also a returner, and the rest of the guys I've never heard of their receivers.
Yeah, their wide receiver room's kind of cooked. Then they didn't draft a single wide receiver. I don't know what they're thinking.
Hey, they got Brian Anger. I went to high school with him. Shout out. Boom.
They might get Michael Thomas. Who knows?
Jesus Christ.
If you get Michael Thomas, you have to get the duct tape too, because his body can't stay. His body can't.
So is that a win for the Browns week 1?
I think it's a toss-up, but it's at Browns, and that defense last year was a monster.
If Myles Garrett plays anything like he did last year,
and I think they helped out there. They got like another defensive tackle early on, and yeah, they added some good defensive and offensive pieces. And if Deshaun Watson plays how he did his last game, they're winning, in my opinion.
All right, so that's one consensus, 1 win, week 1. Riddell says they're going to lose to the Jaguars in week 2. Do you agree with that, Lonnie? They're at Jacksonville.
I think they beat the Jags.
I also believe they beat the Jags.
I mean, we agree, disagree.
Prodigy, you got the Cowboys got that big ass O lineman, right?
They got Tyler Guyton.
Yeah, they got a
So
dude.
that doesn't mean they improved because they lost Tyron Smith. So they
Well,
did
but
not
Tyron
improve,
Smith was old and injury prone.
but he's still one of the best offensive linemen in football.
Right?
So they didn't improve at offensive line. That's for sure.
If they maintain, that's perfectly fine. But let's go week 3. They have the Giants, which is a win.
I'll give you a
What
win
win?
for
So
sure.
we're right now consensus. We're saying they start off. So they play the Raiders after that, which is a win. They play the Commanders after that, which is a win. So they're right now. They start off 5-0. I understand Riddell said otherwise, but consensus right now is that they beat the Jacks. So they start off 5-0. Week 6, they go to Philadelphia. Is
Well,
that their first loss?
majority, not
Majority,
consensus.
sorry.
Yeah.
In week 6, they go to Philadelphia. Is that their first loss?
Yeah.
So they're 5-1.
Yep.
They host the Bengals.
They host the Bengals.
They host the Bengals. I think
I'll
they
get on
split. They're
that
going to
one.
split with the
I'll get on
Bengals.
that one.
So they're 6-1. Then they host Baltimore.
I split. They're splitting with the Ravens too.
So are we giving? So they're 7. So let's just say they're 7-1. Then they host 3 straight home games, and so then they host the Chargers.
You know what? I got the Chargers.
Yeah, I got the Chargers.
Okay, so they're 6-2, and then they have a bye week. Then they go to New Orleans,
Win.
7-2. Then they host Pittsburgh.
Split. I think they're split with Pittsburgh.
That's on Thursday night.
They can lose that.
Thursday night games are weird.
But I mean, the AFC North is the perfect division to
They
say
always all
they're
split, right?
They
always
all
split.
gonna split with each other.
So then, so they're 8-3. Then they go to Denver.
a win.
So 9-3. Then they lose to Pittsburgh. So they're 9-4. They host Kansas City.
Lose. No, not being in Kansas City. I don't care how bad those receivers are. Not being in Kansas City.
Let's have the discussion. They're 9-3 right now. Obviously, they're playing well. They're coming off a loss to Pittsburgh, but that's a divisional game. Do we believe this is week 15? What are we getting from the Chiefs' weapons? Is this another year where Travis Kelce just carrying them weapons wise?
Not necessarily, because they have more identity now, even though the talent's still not great. Because Travis Kelce, obviously, dog. Irv Smith Jr. instead of Noah Gray as your secondary tight end, because they do like to run double tight end sets, is actually pretty good. He's actually a pretty good receiving option. So that's another guy who actually can, create some separation. So that's good. Hollywood Brown is a legitimate receiver. He's more legitimate than Rashee Rice. He's more versatile than Rashee Rice ever was. So now they actually have a vertical threat. Xavier Worthy, I don't know, man. But at the very least, he can run screens. So there you go. Unless if
the numbers, they're 11-3. They're 11-3, coming off a loss to the Steelers at Pittsburgh, and then they play the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I got the Chiefs, and I think the defense will be good enough to make. I don't think Deshaun Watson will be that good next year anyway. So
Lonnie,
Against the Chiefs, they're.
Mhm.
I think they will. I think they can win that one.
They host the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think they
It's
can win
at,
that one.
it's at Cleveland.
I'm mainly thinking about that defense. That defense is
I don't
ridiculous.
care what that defense does.
I think the Chiefs receiving core. You can't. It's just going to be bad.
Game winning drive. He throws a deep ball to Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy can't catch. Bounces off his hands. Lands in Denzel Ward's pick 6 for the win. There you go.
I Riddell, I want to agree, and this isn't me just hating on Mahomes. That receiving last year was bad, and this year's worse.
It's worse.
It's not.
No, it's not worse if Justin Ross could actually play. If Justin Ross could play, him and Hollywood Brown with Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce, they would be okay.
The reason why I'm saying it's not worse is because the spots on where you have that you're going to have the receivers based off their positional value are going to be able to produce. Like Hollywood is going to be a legitimate vertical threat,
if he stays healthy.
for sure. And Travis Kelce.
Let's just add everybody's healthy. Obviously, let's not add that in right now.
If Justin Ross can play, if they actually put
Justin Ross is not playing.
He's not. He's had his chances, Lonnie.
Justin Ross
had his chances.
He's in camp right now.
Yeah, and there's a
No,
reason
he's in
why. There's a reason why they put Justin Watson on the field. They put Sky Moore on the field before him. There's a reason why.
Hey, he makes the roster, guys.
Yeah, and he's running down as a gunner on punt team. That's his job.
Last pick of my fantasy draft, I'm picking up Justin Ross.
Yeah,
if he goes crazy,
the whole season.
Um,
Watching Jalen Hyatt give you more fantasy points than him, you're gonna be pissed.
Respect Hyatt.
I do. That's why I'm saying he's better than Justin Ross. So, Lonnie, you say the Browns beat the Chiefs. Riddell, maybe as I see that Chiefs receiving core play better, I think the Browns beat the Chiefs. So the Browns are 12-3. Then they're at the Bengals, so they're 12-4. Then they host Miami. Who wins that game?
Miami can beat them.
It's at Cleveland. It's at Cleveland.
I think Miami can beat them.
It's at Cleveland late in the year.
It's Sunday night. It's going to be cold.
Yeah, Dolphins are losing.
I also agree. So now they're 13-4, and then they play Baltimore, and they're 13-5. 13-5. One of the best teams in the AFC. Obviously, this is everything if healthy and Deshaun Watson plays up to form. They should be, and with the toughest schedule, they should be one of the best teams in the league.
I mean, my hot take. I made this hot take. I don't think the Browns are making the playoffs. I don't think Deshaun Watson will be good. I'm not a believer.
If Deshaun Watson is not good, then they're not making the playoffs. I agree. But if he plays how he played the last bit before he got hurt, they're making the playoffs.
Even then, he wasn't.
He was playing better. Like that last game before he got hurt, that was probably his best game of the season.
And the game before that, that second half, he went 14 for 14, throwing dots.
Yeah.
So, and at that point, if Nick Chubb comes back, he doesn't need to do everything because that team's good all around him. And you know that if Nick Chubb takes a little bit to get ready, you got Jerome Ford who's serviceable, right? He doesn't need to do everything. And hopefully Kevin Stefanski learned about his team with him having to basically work with duct tape to make it to the playoffs last year with 4 different quarterbacks.
All right, I'll do the Cowboys schedule now.
All right, let's go Cowboys.
So week 1 is the Browns. We already talked about that.
If they lose that game, so they're 0-1.
So they're 0-1. Then it's the Saints. So that's 1-1.
1 win.
Then it's the Ravens.
They're losing.
So they're
1-2.
Oh, they're 1-2. Yeah, sorry.
Then it's the Giants.
They win that game. They're 2-2.
2-2. All right. Then it's the Steelers.
They win that game.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys.
Yeah. All right. So they're 3-2. Then it's the Lions.
They lose that game.
Do they lose that game?
Cowboys versus Lions.
Where's the game at?
It's at home. It's at home.
I think the Lions are good enough to walk in there and walk out the dub.
Based on how they play, because Cowboys do struggle against teams that run the ball a lot and run it well.
Like Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. It's gonna be a problem.
I got the Lions.
They haven't. Remember the Cowboys did not re-sign Stephon Gilmore, so Deron Bland's still on the outside.
Deron Bland's a good corner. I mean,
he's a good slot. I like him in the slot. I don't like him on the outside though.
So who's covering?
Regardless,
who's covering the Sun God in the slot?
Either Trayvon or Deron. One of them.
Who's guarding Laporta?
Well, the Cowboys might be cooked there. Their best option is
who's guarding Laporta?
And what if Jameson Williams starts his breakout? Then you have to put Trayvon Diggs on him. Even if he's just playing, you just want to shut that down. So Trayvon,
you have to account for his speed. So I think you do put Diggs on Williams because he's gonna keep on stretching the defense out.
Plus,
I
Jameer Gibbs
mean,
is a factor outside
You,
the
you could put
backfield, too.
Deron Bland there. Also, at the same time, the Cowboys rely upon their pass rush, and Jared Goff is still not good when pass rush isn't.
To be
his
fair, he is one of the worst. Lonnie, Jared Goff is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league when facing pressure. One of the worst.
Bro, I
They have
just saw
Kenny-
Tim
they have a
Hardaway
great O-line. They
Jr.
have a great O-line.
Yeah,
do.
but I mean, that's what I'm saying. If they can get pressure, I just saw Tim Hardaway Jr.
Hmm.
just shoot a contested three and not hit the rim.
Tim Hardaway infuriates me in ways I can't even understand. Because he has the confidence. He has the confidence of an all-star level player, but he's the most flukiest shooter I've ever seen.
Facts.
He's like what's the dude for Mario Chalmers? Mario Chalmers. You thought he was the best player on those Heat teams.
Didn't have like an internal green light. No, Tim Hardaway thinks he's Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter just be pulling. He don't care.
That's what Tim Hardaway does, but he can't shoot as well as him. So it's just whatever. All right, moving on.
Mhm.
Next at 49ers. This is where it starts getting tough.
They lose.
Wait, do they win that game? Did we say they win that game? Or they lose
They
that game?
ain't beating the 49ers.
No, not the
No.
49ers, the
Yeah,
Lions.
no, this is when the Cowboys schedule gets a little rough.
Do they beat the Lions?
No.
I say no.
Okay.
So they're 3 and
Yeah,
3.
buckle in, Char. That's about to get rough for you.
Ooh.
All right. So then there's their bye. Then they're at 49ers. I
Lose.
still got them losing. Then they're at Falcons.
Lose. Kirk is walking in there with the dub.
That's a
Big
50-50
Kirk.
to be. It depends.
Big Kirk. You know what they're gonna do? Run that rock.
Right at Michael Parsons.
Bijan could go crazy that game. I'm not gonna lie.
So they're
Bijan
3
and
and
ILT.
5.
Bijan
And-
is so good, bro. Oh my.
So they're 3 and 5. And not Skip Bayless. Stephen A. Smith is
that's why I
going
said
crazy
Char.
on First Take right now.
So I'm saying the Cowboys will beat the Falcons. What are you saying right now? Because you're the tiebreaker.
You said it's at
It's at Atlanta.
what time is it?
It's at 12. What is
Okay.
it at?
I just wanted to troll, but I think the Falcons win that game. So they're 3 and 6,
Big Kirk.
All right, then it's the Eagles
3 and
at
7.
home. At home.
Oh no, they'll split.
You know what? Eagles winning both.
You're being mean.
I think they split.
I
I
also
think they
think that they split because they almost always split. I don't know where the last time the
Well, they're
Eagles beat them twice.
So they're 4 and 6.
4 and 6. Then it's the Texans.
They lose that game.
Texans. I'm going.
That's
Houston.
rough.
Battle
That
for
is rough.
Texas, and CJ looks at Jerry Jones in his booth and be like, "You wish you had me."
Oh,
And
think
Yeah,
about
they're
this.
gonna lose, and then
think-
Jerry Jones is gonna tank for Trey Lance. I mean, tank for Shador.
Think about
they-
this gauntlet. Lions, then they have their bye. 49ers, Falcons, Eagles, Texans.
To be fair, they're at the bye probably at the right time because the 49ers are going to try and kick.
Yeah, so they'll give the 49ers a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the
No, they're gonna
49ers
get
are like
cooked. They're not good. They're gonna get cooked.
I think the
gonna
bye
go
gives them. I think the
49ers.
bye gives them that extra chance.
Yeah,
That's
it gives them a better chance than what
Yeah.
they would have had.
They're getting cooked.
So they're
But-
4 and 7 right now.
All right, then
according to-
but then it gets a little easier. Then it's the
Mhm.
Commanders.
so they
they
won
won
that
that.
game.
All right, I'll give them a win.
I'll probably try to be at that game. Shar, you better pull up.
Mm,
Then the Giants at home.
they win that game.
I'll give them both.
All right.
Mm.
Then home against the Bengals.
Is Joe
I'll
Burrow
leave-
healthy? Is Joe Burrow
Wait.
healthy?
Big
Week
Joe
14.
Burrow. We did the healthy thing already.
Yeah, we're doing the healthy thing.
Okay, fine. Then they lose that game. No. Yeah. Oh, we know what?
It's
Bengals
tough.
owner, you found a way to keep T. Higgins and you pay Trey Hendrickson, and you're good for this year.
He doesn't have to pay them before the season starts. Like,
All I'm saying, you found a way to soothe the situation. That's all I'm saying. So they're 5 and 8.
okay. Wait, what did you guys both say that they lose? Because I
Yes.
thought
Yep.
I was saying that they
Big Burr.
beat the
Big
Bengals.
cool.
but
Shout
okay.
out Joe Burr.
I
Joe
got
Cool.
outvoted. All right, but then at Panthers.
They win.
All right, they can have that.
All right.
They can have that.
At at home for Buccaneers. They're winning that.
Big Baker. Nah, never mind. I'll get it all right.
I
Like, go
want
ahead and
to.
lie,
I
nigga.
want to. But I'm okay with being wrong on that game. The Cowboys win that game. So they're 8-8.
Then at Eagles.
They lose. No,
Lose.
no, they split.
Yeah, we said
They
that they
split.
split.
They split. So they're 9-8.
And then
No,
the
you had
Commanders.
them. I thought
And
you
then
had
the
them winning the
Commanders.
first one. I thought you had them winning
Oh,
the first.
yeah. No, she's right. So now they're 8-9,
And then at home for the Commanders.
and they win that game. They beat the Commanders twice.
So what is that? How many wins is that?
Hold on.
Yeah,
Run that schedule by me again, just real quick.
We said that they lose to the Browns.
Yep.
They beat the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
They lose to the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Giants. They
Mhm.
beat the Steelers. They lose to the Lions. Then
Mhm.
there's their bye week. We
Mm-hmm.
said that they lose to the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
What did we say about the Falcons? Because I said that they win.
They lose.
We both said that they lose.
Okay, so they're losing to the
Big
Falcons. Apparently.
Kirk.
At home versus the Eagles. Give them
They
that
win
win.
that game.
Since we're saying that they're splitting.
Mm-hmm.
Then Texans, we're saying lose.
Mm-hmm.
Commanders winning.
Mm-hmm.
Giants winning.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all said the Bengals are beating them.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers win.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks win. This Eagles game they lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the Commanders.
So they end up 9-8.
Missing the playoffs. W.
Maybe they're the 7th seed.
Yeah, they might be the 7th or 8th seed. They
So
might
they're
be.
9-8.
They're missing the playoffs.
And we have the same things. Do the Cowboys pay Dak? Does Mike McCarthy keep his job? Is Jerry Jones trash? Like, what
I
about
could see.
CeeDee
I could
Lamb?
see during that gauntlet though. That gauntlet of the Lions, 49ers, Falcons, Eagles. If they lose, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row, McCarthy's gone.
I don't think he's going to fire him mid-season.
And Big Trey Lance.
If they lose 5 games in a row,
When's the last time Jerry Jones fired
the
a coach
world.
mid-season?
Someone saying, "Oh, if the Cowboys lose 5 games in a row after last season, McCarthy is cooked."
I just don't think he'll fire him mid-season. He's going to be fired after the
Mid-season, probably not. But
I don't think he fires him
it's
mid-season.
time for that rebuild. It's time
Because remember,
for
we're also saying
Big
that before
Shador.
that season that they're losing 2 out of the first 3 games too, and then you lose 5 in a row. Yeah, you're getting. They're firing Mike McCarthy.
I don't
Yeah,
think
at the end of the season, not mid-season.
yeah, I think they'll ride it out as well. I agree.
All right. So
Oh,
Riddell, I wanted to save the Bears for Saturday to just give because I know we've been arguing about the Bears about them being playoff contenders. Do you want to do it now? You want to save it for Saturday?
I want to do it.
Well, you
now.
said
I don't-
NFC North, so I picked the Bears. Big
All
Bears.
Yeah, I want to do it now because I don't know if I'll be there Saturday.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Caleb and them Chicago Bears. All right.
Bears.
First game of their season. It is Bears versus the Titans.
They can win that.
They win it. Bears 1-0. Crazy game week 2 though. Okay, NFL. I get you. I see you. Bears versus Texans. CJ versus Caleb.
Go ahead and
Week
cap.
2.
Go ahead and cap.
That's gonna be a good one. I'm
Go ahead and
gonna
cap.
lie.
Go ahead and cap. Go ahead and cap, both of you.
I
Go ahead and
mean,
cap.
They
They're losing that game and you know it.
I said I'm rocking with CJ this year.
They're losing that game and you know it, Riddell.
Give me the Bears.
I'm
Give
going
me
with
the
Texans.
Bears.
I'm going with the Texans.
They're
Sorry.
1-1.
Jalen Johnson about to put Stephon Diggs in a chamber.
Good
What
thing they
about
haven't
Tank
won
Bell?
this
What
Stephon
about
Diggs.
Nico Collins?
Well,
They
Tyreek
got like 6
Stevenson.
dudes they can throw out there, bro.
Hey man. Hey, man. Caleb Williams is cooking that defense though. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Yeah. Okay. When Will Anderson is saying hi,
You can say hi when
when he
Caleb
picks them up
Williams
like a
throws a
princess,
50-yard dot to Roma Dunze in the end zone.
you
That's
mean a
what-
50-yard dart to Stingley?
Stingley, who's he guarding? Stingley, is he guarding Roma Dunze or is he guarding DJ Moore? Who's he guarding?
Stingley's outside
Move
receiver.
around.
Yeah. He ain't guarding Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen cooking that slot. All right, fine.
fair,
I got
Riddell,
outvoted.
To be fair, they have a chance. They have a chance to win.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, fine. 1-1. Bears versus Colts. I got the Bears.
I got the Bears.
I agree.
Colts could win that too. We
The
don't know
Colts
how
could win
good.
that.
We don't know how good Richardson's going to be. So
Plus, I think Shane Steichen might coach up a masterclass to keep that game close.
No matter. The
Jonathan
Bears.
Taylor too. You don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I got the Bears.
Another good game. Bears versus Rams. Now this is tough.
I think the Rams win that game early in the
I got the
season. The Rams
Bears.
win that game.
I got the Bears.
I got the Rams. I think it will be close, but Stafford, he does what
Puka
he
makes a
gotta do.
ridiculous catch, and
He
you're
does
like,
what he
"Oh
gotta
my
do,
god!"
dude.
And I'm like, the Puka's a top. The Puka narratives, as that's when they officially get pushed.
I'm pushing Puka narratives all year.
You saw
He
him
helped
buy
me
his
win-
mom
he
a
helped me
car
win
the
my
other day.
fantasy- He helped me win my fantasy team, my fantasy league. Like,
You saw him buy his mom a car the other day.
no, I didn't.
I was like, I like that. He's like, make sure my mom would drive nice.
Shout out, man. Okay, so let's say 2-2. Bears versus Panthers, easy. Let's say you thought you were about to have Caleb. We have Caleb. So
They what you call it? They put the backup in at a certain point. Whoever Caleb's backup is. That's how
Yeah,
bad
that's-
that game
No,
should
let him play the whole game. Stop them sets.
they deserve to get blown out. All right, 3-2, 3-2. Bears, Jaguars. Man, a lot of my teams are facing each other.
I still don't like the Jags defense. So give me the Bears.
I think the Bears.
Because I don't trust Trevor Lawrence.
No,
don't
it's across the ocean.
Oh,
9:30 a.m.
Never mind. Never mind.
9:30
I'm serious
a.m.
too. I think the
game.
Jags win that game. I think the Jags win that game.
That's a home game for them.
The Jags win that game. Their main people are used to playing over there. Caleb Williams first time in London. Like, I think the Jags win that game.
Okay. Same. All right, 3-3. Solid start for the Bears. Solid start. Bye week. Okay, good. All right, we play
Bye week already?
bye week.
Well,
week seven.
they put you either get your bye week before, but since it's too early, they're going to get it afterwards. Whichever the teams go to London, they decide. It's either before or after your London trip.
Which makes sense. So they got their bye week. They kind of recovered. They kind of figure out what they got to do. Okay, now it's time for version 2 of the Chicago Bears. Bears versus Washington.
Did Dev
Number
get the link?
I sent him the link.
Amen. So number 1 pick versus number 2 pick.
The Washington's too bad. They're not a good
Give
team.
me the Bears. Yeah, facts.
Even though Scary Terry continues to be
The most underrated receiver in
the
league.
most underrated receiver in the
Underappreciated.
league.
He deserves to be playing with the Chiefs. He
He
deserves to be playing with the
Y'all
Chiefs.
should be calling the Chiefs. Like, y'all don't use them anyway.
Well, now they got JD, so maybe we'll get used more.
God,
Now the number 1 pick versus the number 4 pick. Bears versus the Cardinals.
well, the Cardinals are very
Cardinals
well
defense
coached.
is terrible.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Give me the Bears.
I agree. But that could be a closer game than people think.
Bears.
No,
Now,
I think he can put up. I think Kyler can put up points, but the defense can't get any stops
facts.
unless you think
Um,
Chandler Jones is coming back.
Nah, man, he's singing Bill Belichick raps now. He's out.
It's not making a difference. So now they're 5-3. Number 1 pick versus the number 3 pick. They just went through the 2, 4, and 3rd pick. Bears versus the Patriots.
They're winning. I need them to win.
Bears. The Bears. 6-3. Okay. They cooking. Bears versus Packers.
I think they split.
I
don't
agree.
think
I think they lose both to either the Packers or the Lions. I'm not saying to both, but they're losing both to one.
I think they're splitting both.
Packers are still like the youngest team in the league
And they beat them twice last year.
with Justin Fields.
I'm just saying.
And Tyler.
You know what? They'll split with the Packers, but they lose both times.
Tyler
to-
Bagent.
They split with the Packers, but they lose both times to the Lions. The
I
Lions
think
are just They're,
think they
they're
split with the
overall the
Lions.
better team.
I think they split with the Lions.
I agree. I do too. So the Packers, so they are 6-3, so they will lose this one because it's at Packers. So no, it's at home, so they win this one. So
By the way,
7-3.
we gotta go to Lonnie. We gotta go to Lambeau, bro. We got to. You see how they represent the people over there? We gotta go.
Oh, actually, Caleb has to win this one because remember the Green Bay quarterbacks always think how they own the.
That was Aaron Rodgers. That was Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, Jordan Love is the heir apparent. So
He didn't say nothing.
Caleb has to win it. He has to win it
No,
for the city.
no.
He has to win it
If
for
he
the
was
city.
playing the Jets, I'd get it. If he was playing the Jets, I'd
But
get it.
the Packers game is always the most important for that city. He has
And
to
they
win that
lose
game.
most of them.
But hey, it's a new era. He has to win that
There's
game.
been 4 new
That's
eras
a
and they kept
must-win
losing.
game.
It's been 4 new eras and they
I'm
kept
legit
losing,
taxing
Lonnie.
him if he loses that game. I'm taxing him if he loses that game.
It's been 4 new eras,
It's a
Lonnie, and they
blemish on
keep
his
losing
right-
it.
That's a blemish on his rookie season if he loses that
They
game.
lose to the Packers are a better team.
I don't care. He needs to win that game.
I
He
don't
needs to
know
win that
about
game.
that one.
I'm so serious. I'm so random. I'm dead ass. He needs to win that game. That's if there's
Well,
if
we
there's-
say they're gonna split anyway, so they have
yeah,
to win
well,
one.
if there's a
so.
must win on that schedule, where they're like, we don't care. I don't. If the GM's like, I don't care if you lose 16 games, you need to win this one. That's that game.
They keep losing to him.
It's for the
New
coach. He has to
eras.
win.
New eras, new coaches, new GMs. They keep losing. They
Yeah.
just keep losing that game.
The cycle needs to end. Cycle needs to end.
They win it. So 7-3. Now they play the Vikings.
I got them winning.
I think they beat Vikings both games personally. So 8-3. Now they play the Lions at Detroit. 8-3
They lose-
right now.
They
Probably
lose
leading the division at the moment.
that-
Probably.
They lose that
Okay.
game.
8-4.
Okay.
Then they play the 49ers. Now
Lose.
it starts getting that's a tough one for the Lions.
Yeah,
and
they-
49ers.
How was it a tough one?
Lions 49ers back to back. What do you mean?
I was about to say. They
Wait,
lose to-
what
they-
sketch we going over?
the Bears.
They lose to the Niners. Brock
They're
Purdy.
losing to the Niners. It might get
But,
ugly.
but hold up. But Caleb Williams outperforms Brock Purdy though.
It
I'm
don't
not mad
matter.
at it.
It's still gonna
I
get
like
ugly.
that. I like that.
It's gonna get ugly because the 49ers up 20 and Caleb's still
I
passing.
don't think they'll be up 20. I don't think they'll be up. I think it'll be a close game.
I think they
people
lose.
hey
to
people
a
people
field
thought
goal.
people didn't think the 49ers were going to beat the Eagles by 20 when they played them last year.
Yeah, but the 49ers have a better Bears have a better defense than the Eagles.
Well, I have a
So,
question. What do you
8-5.
think is a trap game? What's their trap game to you, Rodell, Lonnie, and
Well, we didn't
let's
even talk
finish-
about
let's
trap
finish
games.
let's
Okay,
finish
We didn't talk about trap games at all yet.
So Bears, Niners. So Niners win 8-5. Bears, Vikings go back. This is at Minnesota. I think they win both. So I'm gonna go 9-5 personally.
coin flip?
I don't think so. Bears,
Divisional
Saints.
games are always weird.
Nah, if the team's bad, then they losing.
Nah, divisional games are weird, Riddell. You know this.
We had the Cowboys winning both against the Washington and the Giants.
I agree, but Washington's one of the worst teams in the league. The Vikings not going to be one of the worst teams in the league. They're just going to be mid. They're going to be mid.
Hey man,
God, the Patriots keep finding a way to beat. Didn't they beat the Bills or somebody? Like they
yeah.
divisional games are weird. I
that's-
agree with you that they should win both, but divisional games are weird.
That's fine. I got the Bears beating the Vikings both times personally.
I'm with you on that.
JJ McCarthy
I think
coming out party beats the
The
Bears.
Vikings are very well coached. I won't be surprised they lose to the Vikings one time because they're very well coached and do got a lot of talent on that team. So I think they can lose one of those games, but I'll stick with them winning both though.
Okay, 9-5. Bears versus Lions, second game, potentially
They lose.
division leading game.
They lose that game.
Where's it at?
Bears,
I'm gonna keep on doing this because Caleb's doing this.
It's
I don't
it's
even like
home. It's
doing
home.
this,
It's home.
Bears.
We. I think they're gonna lose both. I think they're gonna lose both games to either the Packers or the Lions, but not both. And I think the
they
Lions
split.
they
I
split
think
with the Packers, but they lose twice to the
No,
Lions.
I actually disagree, Random. I think they split with the Lions and lose both games to the Packers.
I think that's crazy. I think
But-
I think that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm with Rodell. I think they split on both.
All right, chat.
I don't know.
Since now we got 4, we don't have a majority. Do the
No,
Pat?
you all got to pick the Lions right now. So
Lions.
you
I
guys
go
are- you
Lions.
guys
I go
are-
Lions. I mean, I
We-
go
we
Bears.
both
I go
picked the
Bears. I go
Lions.
Bears. I
Dad
go
pick
Bears.
Bears. There you
I meant
go.
Bears. I meant Bears.
But he wasn't there for the Packers one because he thinks the Packers. He thinks the Packers will sweep the Bears.
But right now we're talking about the Lions.
Yeah, we're talking about the
And they
Lions.
beat the
right now.
Bears.
I
ain't talking about
think. All right then. So I guess they split.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. Okay.
So that's
10-5.
10-5.
10-5.
Is that the last game?
Bears versus Seahawks. Give
I got
me
That might be a trap game.
the Bears.
That might be a trap game.
It might be, but I got the Bears. I'll fall for that trap.
Mm-hmm.
You can go
See?
Chi-Town.
See, Dub sees where I'm at. They split with the
Yeah,
Packers.
you're
they lose
not a
both the Lions.
believer. You ain't believing. You'll believe eventually, but you're not believing right
I'll
now.
believe next year.
Yeah, can you imagine the crash out Dan's gonna have when that quarterback with the painted pink nails whoops his life?
I don't think Dan's gonna care. I don't think Dan's gonna care like that.
Well, we say the Bears beat the Seahawks. So right now, 11-5. Bears are 11-5 right now. Last game. Bears and Packers.
I think they said
Actually,
I think they
I
we
say-
said that they split.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said
they
they lose this. I feel like they lose this game, but they still win in the. They still go to the playoffs though.
Yeah.
11-6.
Since we
11-6.
split, I'm going with Dev. They lose. They're losing 2 to one of those two teams.
Well, we got them. We had them winning earlier, so they lose this one. So 11-6.
No. Because y'all say you split, so I'm going with Dev. I'm picking the Packers to win that game.
No, we already passed that. We can't just go back.
Mm-mm.
That means we have to
11
go back to like the earlier week and say that's not what we're doing. Because I'm not changing.
It's
I think
Dev's
they-
fault. He wasn't up here, man.
Chat. Who do you pick? Who do they?
Dub Nation says he splits the Packers.
Yeah,
so
they
he
just
can
said
split.
split with Packers.
And I said,
That's cool.
and I said that they're going to lose both, like Dub said.
Well, Dev said he's gonna split with the Lions. So regardless, they split in. You no matter what
They
you
split.
do,
They split with
they
someone. They
split
split with
it.
someone.
Split it. They're still split.
they split it. Hey
Right.
man,
Them being 12-5, I think is ridiculous.
11-6. 11-6.
Them being 11-6, I still think is high expectations.
I
that's
mean,
just-
Texans were
Hey, that's
11-6.
just a projection. If they win 10,
They
That's
win
great.
9. it's a great season.
realistically, I got to rate 10 games is really realistic. I think 10 and 9 games is
If
realistic.
they win 9 games, they're ecstatic. And
they won
he's shown
7
for the
last
future.
year with terrible QB play.
That's great. They win 9 games. That's what you thought they would win, Lonnie. That's what you
Well, that's
thought
what they
would
won
win.
last year. They won 7 games last year.
You thought they would win 9, Lonnie. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. You thought the Bears would win 9 games with Caleb. And that's
Yeah.
what I agree with you.
Keep in mind, we had the Bears losing to the Jaguars and the Rams. They could win those games. I'm just saying.
Then what if they lose to the Vikings and somebody else?
I don't think they're losing the Vikings.
We don't know the future. We don't know.
We don't know the future.
I mean, I know. That's why we got 11-6.
But if they stay exactly the same as last year, it's a down year for me.
Trap games and Seahawks. Seahawks is their trap game.
That's absolutely a trap game.
I don't think it will. I think the Seahawks will be tanking by then. The
Is
trap
it
game that I
is it
would
in
say-
Seattle too?
No, it's in.
No, that's
about to say.
hey, Rodell. That's why it's a trap game. 'Cause they tanking. That's why it's a trap
Seahawks
game.
are tanking.
the trap game. I will.
Did the
I
Cardinals
will
beat
give-
somebody in a trap game at the end of the season last year?
I will give you the Cardinals as the trap game. That's what I will give you. The
All right,
Cardinals.
Dev, do you want to pick? You know what? Yeah, you know what?
already
Let's
went over
go with the AFC. Let's go with the Texans, Dev. Let's run with the Texans. Okay. Let me get their schedule out.
I hope you know I'm about to get real nasty with the schedule.
And if you guys want to pick two new teams, you guys can go ahead. So the Houston Texans.
Up there.
Oh, Dev left.
That's fine.
Well, if we're doing the Texans, I will say this. Hot take for the Texans that I said. Oof. I like this one. I hope I'm right too. It's just gonna feed my ego. Nico Collins will outperform Stephon Diggs. That's
I'm
my
not
hot
mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Do I agree with you? No, because I don't know. It depends on. I actually feel like it depends on Tank Dell.
To be fair, when CJ Stroud was creating his offense against Michael Parsons, he picked Tank Dell in the slot. He said Tank Dell Out of all receivers in the entire NFL, he picked Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, and Tank Dell.
Just Tank Dell is a monster.
He's
I don't
really
think
good.
people realize
I
how
put
good
the Sun
Tank Dell
God. I put the Sun God in slot before Tank Dell.
I mean, CJ Stroud said Tank Dell, man.
I think he's just taking up for his guy.
if
think
he
it-
was, he would have put Stephon Diggs, and he didn't.
I think in a few years we'll be saying that Tank
That's-
Dell's
that-
better than St. Brown.
That's a few years, not right now.
I can
Oh,
see
right
it.
now I got St. Brown.
Right
for
now
sure.
it's St. Brown,
Right now it's St. Brown because he's the number one option.
and he's better. He's a better slot receiver.
I'm waiting for that conversation, but whatever.
You saying Tank Dell's better than the Sun God, Lonnie?
Let's
He has
not.
more talent. I'll say that. He has more talent.
What
Yeah, let's not go
is he
there.
better, Lonnie?
He has more talent.
What does that mean, Lonnie? Answer the damn question.
He has
Stop
more
being
talent.
Riddell. Answer the damn question.
As in, he's a mini
What do you
Antonio
mean being
Brown.
Riddell? I always
Stop
answer
being
that.
political.
He's a mini
Answer the
Antonio. He's
who's
a
better
mini,
right
he's
now,
a miniature
Lonnie?
Antonio Brown.
Lonnie, talent doesn't mean anything with this question. Who is the better player?
Who's better or who has more opportunity?
Who is the better player, Lonnie? I will call Moon Peaches and come put you in the headlock. Who's the better player?
Yeah, if you want to wake her up, that's yours.
Who is the better player, Lonnie?
While they do what they're doing right now, I will say
I got the
this.
Texans schedule ready.
I'll say this, man. This should be a closeout game. I'm so pissed that the Mavericks lost last game, bro. I am livid
They sold.
that
They
lost last
sold
game.
at the
I'm
end.
so pissed. Oh
They
my
sold.
god. We should be sending the Thunder home right now. That's what we should be doing right now.
They sold, man. They were selling.
All right, you ready for the Texans schedule?
I'm ready. I got it ready to go.
All right.
So they start off with the Colts.
The Colts.
Win.
What?
Win.
Win.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Loss.
How?
They lose the first game, then they're gonna go 13 wins straight.
Nigga, what?
Explain to me how they lose that game.
Because they'll be hyped. They lose to like a game-winning field goal. Then then they're gonna get
So
motivated.
we're talking Anthony Richardson off injury.
They use a game-winning field goal. Then boom, they're gonna win 13 games straight, make it the Super Bowl.
This seems like Anthony Richardson glaze right now. That's what it sounds like.
Well, the Colts are not beating Texans. I'm not.
No,
I'm not
I'm joking. Let me stop trolling. They lose that. No, win. I think that's in Houston.
No, it's in. They could play them on the moon. The Colts are not beating the Texans. At least they shouldn't.
I disagree. I'm not gonna say it shouldn't be the Texans because the Colts was competitive. It was a competitive game last year.
No. They should not beat the Texans.
They should not beat the Texans.
I will say it right now. There's
I
no.
I apologize for my nastiness for the schedule, but yeah, they beat the Colts.
Yeah, they beat the Colts, but Texans.
Then-
Colts underrated them.
Then they play the Bears.
Win.
That's a win. Then they play the Vikings.
Win,
That's a win.
win 3-0.
And then they play the Jags.
I
win,
think they can.
Where
Where? Yeah,
It's at
home.
It's at home.
they
win.
split it. They split it.
they can split the Jaguars. It's go 50-50.
So they win.
Alright,
Then they play the
Jaguars.
Buffalo Bills at home.
I think that's a lose. I think
Win.
I got this. I got
Win.
the. I got the.
I
biggest
think
Jaguars lose to
if
the Bills.
I agree with Dev about his Josh Allen MVP case next year.
I don't agree with that at all.
So
I don't
who's
agree
going to be
with
the
that at all.
MVP?
It's CJ's time to get an MVP. I'm sorry. It's
I-
CJ's winning MVP this year.
I think what
I'm
with,
not
with the
lying.
load, no Diddy, that Josh Allen's going to have to carry. Plus, he's going to have the narrative edge because
and I don't think he's
Stephon
going to get
Diggs
it
is
done.
gone.
And I don't
I
think he's going to
think-
get it done.
Stephon Diggs revenge game. Give me the Bills.
I got the.
Yeah,
I got the
Stephon
Bills
revenge
winning.
game. Give me the Texans.
I got the
Yeah,
Bills.
I got
winning.
Josh Allen revenge
I
game.
also have the Bills winning that
I
game.
got the Bills winning that game.
It's going to be like a Josh Allen carry job.
No, not just.
I don't
I
think
feel like
so. The
Keon
defense is
Coleman. I
gonna
feel like
be pretty
Keon
good.
Coleman can ball out that game,
Mhm.
and I feel like that's a
I
motivation
think
game.
Keon Coleman's going to get strapped up that game. But
Nah,
Week
Curtis
6.
Samuel's gonna cook.
Who's covering Kincaid
Ooh.
on the Texans?
Curtis Samuel cooking.
Respect Curtis.
who they play week 6?
They play the Patriots.
They got MVS.
Win.
Unfortunately, Lonnie and Random, that is a win for the Texans.
Week
Don't
7.
feel sorry. That's a win.
Week 7, they're at the
Take 'em over
Packers.
That could be. It
And-
depends.
Packers.
Win.
Give
They
me
could
the
lose that game.
Texans.
They could lose that game.
They can lose
That's
that
a
game.
win.
I can see them losing though, but I guess I'll go win.
Yeah, the Packers just got too high from all the secondhand smoke during the game, so they lose the game.
Hey, Cook Dub Nation.
So they're 5-1.
Yeah, you did. Did you read the 20+ turnovers?
45 touchdowns is crazy though.
45 touchdowns is crazy.
So
You have like 15 turnovers.
He's
All
not
right.
in like what the first half of the season.
I don't
Nah,
think he's
nah,
gonna have
total.
that. I don't think he's gonna have as many turnovers as y'all think.
I don't know. I
don't
mean,
think so either.
He
I see
fumbles a
12.
lot.
That's true. Look,
It's not-
while he does
it's not just
fumble,
interceptions, he fumbles a lot.
I got you, but I
He
think
fumbles like a decent amount, but I don't think he's getting 10 plus turnovers. And the
I don't-
reason why is the biggest reason why he would get turnovers is he would force the ball to Stephon Diggs. He's not going to do that on
He's
the Bills.
running. Have you seen how many times he fumbles while he runs?
Yeah, but he's not going to. I don't think he's getting. 10 plus.
You're making it seem like it's an epidemic, and it's not that.
I'm not like I don't like let's get real about Josh Allen. Let's make Josh Allen.
Anyone
They
want
put
to
up
bet he has
numbers.
more than 15 turnovers? I'll make that bet.
I got
Isn't
so
it
many
Josh-
bets in the. You know, I'll.
Because
Isn't
turnovers.
it
Write
Josh
it
Allen
down.
had
If y'all want to
hair?
bet, I'll write it down.
I don't
Isn't
mind
Josh Allen
betting,
playing
but
better?
like I don't know how much I care about Josh Allen to bet. That's my problem right now.
Because interceptions is also a turnover. So
Yeah, we understand that.
so I'm saying you're saying he's not gonna get more than 10.
I don't
said
think he's
15?
gonna, I don't think he's gonna fumble it
I
down.
think you said 10, but I'll still go 15.
Let's go 15. Let's go
15. How much you want to bet? 50.
I have a lot of bets in my market. Let's see.
How much y'all putting down?
You want to go 50? You want to go 100? You want to go 200? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I'm not doing all that. I ain't betting crazy amounts on someone I don't like.
we
that much.
not we not early, bro.
I don't
20
bet.
bucks. How about $20?
So I got
You can do
I got three $50 bets already on the table. We'll do 20 for Josh Allen, 15 turnovers.
and I'll make sure to add that to the
Wait.
Open
So
field
Lonnie,
bet
is Lonnie
archive.
going to over? Like he has to get
Over
15 or
15
more.
turnovers, yeah.
Okay, so what if he has is exactly 15 and he still wins?
No,
It's null and void if he gets
All right,
exactly 15.
All right,
Watch,
over under.
Watch the final game of the year. He's gonna fumble and get 15, and Riddell's gonna be pissed.
I'll become the biggest Josh Allen hater on the platform.
All right, so the Texans right now are 6. Hold on. Are they beating the
It's
Packers?
6-2, 6
Yeah.
and 1. 6
Yeah, I
and
got
1.
them. I got them beating Packers.
They're 6 and
so
1 right now.
So they're 7-1.
Oh, 7.
No, my bad. They're 6-1. Sorry, they're 6-1. All right, then they have Indianapolis again.
I think
They-
they're splitting. They're splitting either with either the Jaguars.
They're
or-
beating they're
They're not-
beating Indy both
The
times.
Colts are not going to be that good. I'm telling y'all right now.
They're
I don't
beating-
know. The Colts were good last year, though. Like the Colts were good last year.
Yeah, I
Really
don't
big
think they're going to be good
team.
this year.
The Texans are even better.
Great. I know, but still, like
The
great.
Texans
I
are
feel
even
like-
better.
Dev, I
They
feel
don't-
like you're like underestimating like how good the Texans have gotten.
No, I'm not
Oh,
underestimating
God,
them. I'm like, I think we're underestimating the Colts because the Colts can be really good. And, like,
Yeah,
I
but
was-
we have
I was-
good,
because
but
T-
like
I think
AR
because
is
T
coming
gets convinced me.
coming off injury. He's going to have to.
he played 4
relied
games his
upon a
rookie season.
lot
This is
more.
technically still his rookie season.
Yeah, their
No, I
biggest
feel you.
addition is AR coming back off injury. The Texans'
know,
biggest addition is Stephon Diggs.
It still got JT Taylor. I said JT Taylor.
That's
Jonathan Taylor.
their only
But
advantage.
this is a year off of like seeing how
But the Colts defense- I don't know.
coaches
And then
too.
also JT got hurt at the end of last year.
Give me the Texans.
I
They
just
win
I don't
the
think they
Give me the
split.
Texans.
So they're 7-1.
But if they sweep the Colts, then it's splitting with the Jaguars. Then
game. Oh yeah,
I probably agree with that. Then they're at the Jets. Thursday night football.
I think they lose that game. I
If
think
Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I think they lose that game.
They winning.
You might have to bet J-Rob on that. I'm not gonna hold you.
I'll bet J-Rob on that.
Texans or Jets. Texans or Jets.
I think they lose that game, but it's close.
I got them winning.
I'll go Jets. I'll go Jets.
So they're 7-2. So now then they have the Lions at home.
Oh damn. Okay. All right. I will go.
Sunday night football, by the way.
I'll go Texans.
I think the Lions win that game.
I think the Lions get blown out.
Ain't no way. Now, I know you're being nasty, but come on, bro. Ain't no way they're blowing out.
They
the
lose
Lions.
by double digits.
They're
That
not
Texans
losing by
pass
double
rush
digits.
is going to be really
You want to
dangerous.
bet?
The Lions O-line is really nasty.
I know, but this is going to be one of the few teams that the Lions face that's going to have a legitimate pass rush on both sides of the defensive
And
line.
I'd understand
With
if the
Will
Lions threw the ball
Anderson
like that,
and
but they
Danielle
run the ball.
Hunter.
The Lions run the ball. Jameer Gibbs.
The Texans can run the ball. What are we talking about?
Not as well as the Lions can.
I agree.
I agree. But they
The Lions
throw the
can't
ball
pass
better.
as well as the Texans.
If they blow out the Lions, then
yeah, I don't think it's a
then the
blowout.
Texans are saying
win
that
by
they're
at
one of the
least
best
10.
teams in the
They win
league.
by
They're
at
not
least
winning by
10.
10. They're not winning by 10. The Lions are too
I
good of a
can
team for them
see
to
a
win by
10-point win. 10-point win's not crazy though.
I don't think they're beating the Lions by
That's a
10.
touchdown and a field goal.
They're not beating the Lions by 10.
I'm going
They're
to
not.
with that win.
The Lions are too good of a team.
I got the
Wanna bet?
Lions.
You're not
I
beating
got
the
the Lions
Lions by
really
10.
good
Want
this
to
year.
bet?
Yes.
How much
I'll
you want
bet
to
you
bet?
$20 right now. They're not beating the Lions by
Okay,
10.
put that down. Write that down.
If Jared Goff what are the injury things? Because if Jared Goff is out or
If
hurt,
there's a major starter that's injured, then it's null and void. Or if there's a major injury in the game.
I think the only major injury that should count is quarterback. Anything else shouldn't matter.
Well, if St. Brown for his point, if St. Brown like tears his knee up in the middle of the game or in the first quarter, I'm
That's
not gonna take
tough.
the $20 from him.
That's
No.
tough.
So
I
bearing
think
any
that's
major.
unfair. I think that's
It's not my bet, so it's whatever.
Texans.
Dev, can you mute your mic when you're doing a bunch of stuff?
My fault.
I mean, so far so good for Luca.
Getting
Yeah,
healthier every
people
day,
were
man.
Yeah,
talking
I'm
mess
mad right
on
now.
Luca last game. So
Like he wasn't getting beat up the whole game.
Yeah, I'm mad right now. Oh, we need to lock in.
Yeah, I don't listen to anybody who's just being nasty to be nasty.
Okay, we're only down by 10. It's not bad.
I'm not looking forward to. I'm probably
I'm
not
not
even
wrong
gonna
though.
watch
Shay's
the
my favorite
playoffs
player to
tomorrow.
watch, but I fuck with Luca.
I like Shay's game. Like I do. I think I would like Shay more if people weren't so ready to like say he's better than Luca. I think that's
All right, real quick. Who did we say is winning that game? The Lions game.
I got
The Lions are winning.
I got the Texans.
Dev, what do you say you had?
I got the Lions.
Chat. Who wins between the Texans and the Lions? That could be one of the games of the season. Ain't no way that they're beating them by 10.
I think it's a fair thing
No,
to
they
say
beat
that
them-
the
they
Texans
beat them
win
by
by 10.
20.
I'm not gonna lie.
If they beat them by 20, then the Texans, we're having conversations. They're the best team in the league.
Hey,
That's what we're having. If
exactly.
they beat the Lions by 20.
Exactly. Now you see my agenda. Now you
But
see
not-
it.
hold on. The Ravens beat the Lions by 20 or by over 10. I think they're by 20, right?
Last year,
They
the
beat them by
Ravens were
20?
better than the Texans.
Not this year. Not in my opinion. But whatever.
Last
Dub
year
Nation-
Ravens versus
Ravens better
this
than
year Texans is actually pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie. The Texans.
So you're
are-
saying you're saying that the Texans defense is going to be as good as
We're talking
the
about the
Ravens.
totality of the team, not the
Yes.
just the defense.
So the totality of their Texans defense is going to approach what the Ravens defense did last year.
No,
No,
but the
that's not what
Texans
we're
offense
saying.
is
The
gonna be
totality
way
of the
better than the
team.
Ravens offense.
I don't think
I don't
so.
think it's gonna be way better because like
I think
it's
gonna be
National
way
That's
better.
the Texans. So Texans win. What's the next game?
So they're 8-2. Then they have the Cowboys.
Oh, I already picked
We,
Texans.
we already said that they're beating the
Yeah.
Cowboys.
So they're beating the Cowboys. Then they have the Titans.
they'll be the Titans.
So they're 10-2.
Sneaky trap game. Tennessee Titans.
Then they have the Jags.
I got them splitting. We got them splitting.
And then they have their bye, the latest bye. This is making me want to say some stuff about the Texans and how I feel that what they might do. Latest bye. That's an amazing bye. Then they have the Dolphins.
Where?
That could be a trap
At
game.
home.
That could be a trap game, honestly.
At
At
home.
home?
At home.
At home?
That can be a trap
Houston
game.
is pretty warm.
Because Tyreek, that's what I'm saying. Because Tua,
Is Tua healthy?
It's a dome. Tyreek Hill. It can't be a trap.
He
game.
can make it through the season. And it's at home. It's warm. It's in a dome.
Yeah, that's what I said. It could be a trap game.
That
I
could be
think
an
the Texans
interesting
win, but
game.
it's going to be close.
It depends on how well the pass rush gets to Tua. If they can't get pressure on Tua, they can lose that game. Jalen Ramsey and
Will Anderson, Daniel Hunter, they're gonna get to 2.
they got another corner. It's Jalen Ramsey and someone else.
I mean, the Dolphins got some pass rush now too.
It's not Howard left.
No,
me
they didn't they sign somebody else?
They did. I'm checking right now. So their secondary is Jalen Ramsey, Kendall Fuller, who's a good corner.
He's okay, yeah.
They got Jordan Poyer
I like Jordan Poyer.
from
I
the
do like Jordan
Bills.
Poyer.
Yo, their secondary is actually pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
You have that pass rush in the draft.
They did, even though I don't
Bro,
think they
we
should only pass rush.
clear. I can't believe Shard tried to even talk about summer gold medals. We clear, y'all. We beat y'all by like 60 gold
Do you
medals.
know how big California is and how small Maryland is?
I don't want to hear it.
I'm
Yeah, you
going
know if you
to
hear
say
it,
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to
because
hear
if you
it.
hear it, your argument is invalid.
No. We just clear and it's okay.
Wait, clearing
Because
what?
you're the
Clearing
size
what?
of like
Wait, clearing
two
what?
of like
Random?
50 Marylands.
We also that means we have more chances to fail.
Wait,
I
what
mean,
are you talking
that
about?
means you
Football?
have way more people. You have a bigger pool of people.
And we
I mean,
and
Lonnie, you're not gonna.
you're-
Wait, Random. What are you arguing
We're
about?
so we were talking about the CJ Micah talk when Micah tried to say Maryland creates more football players or better athletes in California, and he was wrong. And then Shar was like, "Well, we have better gold medalists." That's also wrong,
Well, George is better than both of y'all.
which is a lie. but
It's not
okay.
like you know
Who
how
in
many
California is better than Michael Phelps? Because she said better. So who's better than Michael
So you're
Phelps?
top heavy is what you're telling me.
Hey, Tom Brady or Michael Phelps? Tom Brady or Michael Phelps?
Michael Phelps is better in this sport.
Hold on, Lonnie. Tom Brady or Michael Phelps?
Those are two different things.
No,
Tom
Brady.
Brady's not an Olympian. This is an Olympian conversation.
What the hell?
We're talking about greatest
Cook.
athletes. We're talking about
No,
greatest athletes.
that's a different conversation than what we're
You're
having.
barely also hold up. You say Georgia better than both of y'all. Maryland got more fucking medals than Georgia. No, I don't want to hear it from you, bro.
We produce way more NFL talent than Maryland.
We're talking about Olympics.
Oh, Olympics are my fault. Well,
Y'all getting
actually, let
cooked.
me do my research. Let me look at my research.
I'm literally looking. Maryland has 18. Georgia has 17. Step your game up, Georgia.
All right. Well, let's wrap up the schedule. Who else?
All right. So they're beating Miami?
I think they could lose that game.
I am going Miami.
I think they could lose that game. I honestly think.
I wouldn't be
I think-
surprised if they lose that game.
They
I'm
get
going
complacent.
Texans.
To be
You're
fair,
You're
it's
very high. in
definitely
Texas.
hold up. It's definitely
I'm
a
very
trap
high in
game.
Texas, yes.
It's definitely a trap game because they play Kansas City the next week.
I think they lose both weeks.
Ooh, back to
And then
back.
after that-
Yeah.
Hey,
adversity.
hey Dev, who's Patrick throwing to?
Hey,
It don't matter. If they're winning.
Hey, we asked that question in the Super Bowl. We asked that question all year last year.
I'm sorry, they're
Hey, at
worse.
least last year I could answer you.
I'm
You
just
was
gonna-
there when we
Oh,
went through there.
Xavier Worm.
Dev, you was there last year you was there last time when we ran through their entire receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
It's worse than last year.
They got.
I know
Marcus
Riddell
Brown,
says it
Jordan.
isn't. Until further notice, they're worse than last year.
Listen,
Yo,
as
Chris
long
Jones
as,
is
as,
gonna
long as they
get
got,
right in
listen,
CJ Stroud's face, like
as
right.
long as they got 15 and number 87, I think it's number and number 95, they still can win games.
We should probably run
can,
through the
will
Chiefs
they?
schedule real quick.
And put
But,
the Chiefs defense gonna be top
Do
5
they?
next year.
So with that
Top
new
15.
information, do they lose to the Chiefs? Or
I
do
think they lose to the
Do they
Chiefs.
lose to the Dolphins
Yup.
because they're looking
They're
ahead?
not losing.
Yeah.
Yep,
they lose to the
back-to-back
Dolphins.
losses.
I sorry, Lonnie, they're looking ahead to the champs.
Back-to-back losses.
I
Also,
agree.
if you don't game plan correctly for Tyreek Hill, he's gonna expose your defense.
Yeah. Hey,
So-
even if you do game plan for him,
So
well,
they're at Kansas City for the Chiefs game.
yeah, they lose that.
Losing.
Ironically, I think the Texans win that game because it's just like
Yo, he's had like Lonnie, he's had every team beat the Chiefs, by the way. You
no,
know
I haven't.
he's had like every
No,
team
I haven't. No, I
beat
have
the
not.
Chiefs, bro.
How many teams?
How many teams played the Chiefs? Let me move the Chiefs schedule. I think you had every single team beat the Chiefs. It's
No, I
actually
did
crazy.
not. And
Are
even
we
if
going to the
then, they
Chiefs
can be a
schedule?
they can be a 2 seed and
Hold
still
on.
make it. They
Hold on.
literally did it last year.
No, but I think this is like the most important game of CJ's career so far. I think this is like where he like tells Patrick,
This
"Hey,
is his
I'm here
MVP
too."
moment. MVP
This is where
moment
he's
right here.
this is his MVP moment game where he's like, "I'm here too, nigga." Yeah, you thought shit was sweet.
Lola,
And
but I'll
then-
say this.
You thought bitching Mahomes, you thought bitching Allen and Burrow was all you needed to do. Now I'm here.
Hold on.
Well,
But
He
But
got
I'll say
bitched by
this.
Lamar, so
I'll say this.
Hey,
They
we ain't
have to
talking
play.
about that. We talking about
This is
Mahomes.
actually a crazy 3-week
And,
schedule. They play Miami, then they play then they play the Chiefs, then they play the Ravens.
And when he
rematch against the
and when he wins
Ravens?
all three, when he wins all three,
He's not
crown
winning all
MVP.
three.
He's not
He's
winning
not
all
winning
three.
all
He's
three.
not winning all three.
Crown
They're
that.
He's
not-
not
listen,
winning all three.
I got him.
Lonnie, I know you're being nasty. He's not winning all three.
I got to
Am
take
I being
a lot
nasty?
more games than y'all think.
Am I being nasty?
and this is where CJ Stroud's MVP case falls apart.
Right. They lost to the. They lost to time out. They
three
lost to
games
the,
in a row,
time out,
and
the
then
Texans,
Josh
they lost to the
Winning
Allen
3
Panthers
games
last
in a
the
row.
year.
MVP.
And they're
Listen,
crowning him. They're giving
Wait,
him
listen, hold on.
MVP
I got. Wait,
early. It's
outside of
already
getting
mailed
Steph
to
on
his house.
Diggs,
It's
they
mailed
lost
to
to
his
my
house.
Falcons. They lost to my Falcons last year. They lost to the Panthers last year.
We're talking about his rookie season.
Yeah, we're talking about this year. Also, I'm not gonna lie. That 3-game stretch will determine his MVP. If he wins,
It's
those
going to
three,
determine who gets the
he's
one.
winning
seed.
MVP. If he
If he
loses
wins
those
two
three,
out of one, if he wins 2 of 1,
nah, he needs to win
Bro.
all three or lose. He needs to win all three. He needs to win all three.
I mean, then again, we
I
also
think
got.
he'll
We
win
also.
all
I
three.
mean,
I think it
I think
depends
he's
on
winning
how.
all
If he
three.
get, I think it depends on how he.
I mean, we also got to
how he
assume.
plays.
We also
If
got to
he
assume
plays
how
well,
good
but he
the other quarterbacks
loses,
are.
if he plays well, but he loses to the Chiefs, I think his MVP case is still ongoing. But
But
he
I'm
has to
saying we also
be.
got to assume everybody else that like that's
Hold
performing.
on, Dev. Hold on,
My
Dev.
fault.
If he wins, if he loses to the Chiefs, but he plays well, he has to beat the Baltimore Ravens, or else his MVP case is done. He has to win that game.
I think he's winning all
Oh,
3.
for sure.
I think he wins.
Listen, here's
He
what.
could easily lose 2 of those games. He could easily win 2 of those games.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. He's winning.
Here's,
all
Yeah,
three.
all right,
you're-
here's what happened.
He
It-
loses all three. It's too late. We
yeah,
said
I-
I
Dolphins.
think they beat the Chiefs, but then they lose to the Ravens.
Nah, Chiefs.
Listen,
won,
listen.
bro.
Here's
Because I
what
say
happened.
this, they lose because they overlooked the Dolphins to play to get ready for the Chiefs, and they lose the Dolphins game. Then they beat the Chiefs, but then they lose.
Actually, I'm with you right there. I'm with you. They lose all 3 of those games. I love you. They face a little adversity.
If they lose all 3,
No, but
They're too
here's
good
the-
to lose
the-
all 3.
they're
No,
too
no.
good to lose all 3.
No.
And the play the
They're
Ravens at
playing
home.
too.
They're
Like-
playing
You know what?
one of the
Dev,
most.
since I have bets with them, Dev, you want to make a bet that they
Nah,
lose all
no,
three?
I'm a broke college student.
Okay.
They're playing the most dangerous offense in the regular season. And
They're playing against the AFC.
Then they're playing the 2 best teams in the AFC in the Chiefs and Ravens.
Yeah.
It's very conceivable that they lose all 3.
I don't think they lose all 3.
Or how about
I can
this? If
see
they
it,
don't
but
lose
I
all
think it's
3,
gonna happen.
I don't think they
how
lose
about
all
this?
3.
For me, I'll switch this. They beat Miami and lose to the Chiefs and Ravens. I think that's possible to happen.
I could see that happening.
Beat Miami, they lose to Chiefs and Ravens.
I got them lose all 3. I stand 10 toes.
I think they win one of the 3.
Because the AFC's a gauntlet. I ain't gonna lie. The AFC's a gauntlet. It's not gonna be. I don't
So
think
Lonnie, me and Dev say they win one. They win one of the 3. You think they win all 3. Riddell thinks they lose all 3. Chat, what do you think the Texans do with that stretch where they play the Dolphins, the Chiefs, and the Ravens?
Saying they're gonna lose 3.
Well,
straight.
you have to go game by game. We did the Dolphins. Majority was the Dolphins. We did the Chiefs.
I think they win that game.
It's actually 50-50 because freaking random thinks the Chiefs don't lose the Texans. So that's 50-50, and the Ravens, we all think that they're going to lose the Ravens. So the game to pick is the Chiefs.
I think they win that game. If they lose to the Dolphins, then they're fully locked in for the Chiefs.
I don't care how locked in they're going to be. They're losing to the Chiefs.
They're beating
my
Uh,
homeboy.
Weird, man.
That's CJ's moment.
It's in Kansas City. No.
That's why I
Yeah,
said
and we saw the Raiders embarrass the Chiefs in Kansas City.
Yeah, the Chiefs are trolling. It's fine.
they get the Chiefs. That's what the chat said.
They get the Chiefs. So
And they beat the
they're 11-5.
Yeah, that's a good perfect record because like that's a hard.
And then they
schedule.
play the Titans to end the season, so they're 12-5.
Yeah, that's perfect. 12-5 is cool.
I got the Titans.
Cause like last year, 12
You're just being petty. You're just being
Yo, I can see the Titans.
Cut,
stealing
12-5
one
is
from
They
still-
have to. They have to win that game for the 1 seed. The
No,
Titans
yeah,
are trying
they
to go.
win a game.
The
And
Titans are
they're
getting ready to go to
gonna
Cancun.
lose, and they're gonna
No,
lose.
Because
they're
here's the
winning the 1
thing,
seed.
like 12-5 can still get you the 1 seed or the 2
Well,
seed.
in our thing, we thought the Browns are going to go 12-5, so we don't.
Ooh, really?
They'll figure out tiebreakers.
Wait, y'all got the Browns winning the division?
We went through their whole thing. We think they're going to win. We think
I'm not
from
high
off
on
our
Browns.
projections.
Y'all got the Browns winning the division? Oh wow.
12-5.
Titans. I got the Titans beating the Texans.
The Texans are winning that game.
I got the Texans. I'm sorry. I got the Texans.
Respect Will Levis, man.
All right. Do you want to Riddell, do you want to do the Chiefs schedule since you think that I'm gonna make them lose every game?
Probably. I don't know why. All right, let's go Chiefs schedule. Difficult schedule per usual, but it doesn't matter. They still win the Super Bowl. So first game of the season, they play the Ravens.
They lose every.
They lose that game.
I feel like
No, my bad. The Ravens lose that game.
Which team?
Ravens versus Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs losing.
It's like the banners getting hung, the banners dropping. The Chiefs are winning that game.
I think the same thing. It's gonna be the same story as last year. They lose that game, and the Ravens and Chiefs. Oh, what's going on? And then the same old story. They'll lose that game, then they'll get the ball rolling. Same old story.
Nah, I got the Chiefs, man.
I think
the Chiefs are going to be locked in.
even though I can see where Dev's saying if they lose that game early, then that's just all the things they need when they play them in the playoffs.
Yeah,
the Ravens can't beat them in the playoffs, so
we know this.
I mean, they only play each other.
I think because it's banner night, I think that gives the Chiefs, like Xavier Worthy's actually catching passes and wait a few weeks before he starts dropping them.
Yeah,
so,
plus the Ravens beat them like I think twice already in the regular season. Or
Justin Ross has 2 touchdowns.
He's not getting playing time.
Bruh, I wish Justin Ross was healthy, bro.
He is healthy. Sky Moore and Justin Watson get more reps than him.
I literally just saw some highlights of him in training camp.
That's great, bro. That's
right
great.
now, so,
I bet money there was some training camp highlights last year, and he still wasn't getting any burn.
Well, that's because he decided to put his hands on people.
El criminal. All right, so Chiefs win first game.
They're losing one of the first 3 games.
Chiefs versus Bengals.
Chiefs versus Bengals. They got a gauntlet. Right
they went. I think they beat the Bengals this year to get their revenge.
Well, didn't they beat them the last time they saw them in the playoffs?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about in the regular season. I'm not in the regular season.
The Bengals beat them in the regular season last time.
Yeah.
What do you think, Riddell?
I could see the Bengals winning. The Bengals are.
Is it in Cincinnati?
It's in
KC.
Well, it is in Arrowhead, so now they really don't want Joe Burrow to win in Arrowhead. So
like I said,
extra motivation. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is gonna be a tough one because both of the teams are gonna want to win like so bad. This is like a rivalry game.
It's a coin flip to me. I can go either way.
This is a coin flip for me as well. I'm gonna go Chiefs.
See, he keeps tricking y'all, Lonnie, and this is what he keeps doing. Training camp, Justin Ross.
Hey.
Chiefs versus Falcons.
A.
Honestly, Atlanta.
Kirk Cousins. This is a Kirk Cousins legacy game.
We said the
what's his
prime
legacy?
time.
What's his legacy? His one.
It is prime time.
No.
It is prime time. Sunday.
We said the Falcons would lose that game when we ran through the Falcons schedule.
Yeah, I know. So
Kirk Cousins legacy game because we need
3-0.
We need him to win that game. If not,
Chiefs are about to prove Nick right and go undefeated. Crazy. Chiefs versus Chargers.
They beat the Chargers.
4-0.
And they beat the Saints.
5-0.
They lose 49. I gotta listen. They need to lose to the Ravens or 49.
Hold on, Deb. Bye week, and then week 7. So right now they're 5-0. Week 7, Chiefs versus 49ers at 49ers.
They lose that game. The 49ers is going to have
the Chiefs.
I think the loser of they're just going to have the 49ers just going to have more to play for. They're going to lose that game.
We never played home.
And it's in San Fran. They're going to lose that game.
Oh, in San Francisco, yeah.
That's going to be the first time. That's going to be the first time Mahomes cuts down receivers because nobody can catch the ball again.
I got them playing. I got them either lose to the Ravens or the 49ers. So since I said they beat the Ravens, they lose to.
If anything, you want to lose the 49ers now instead of the Super Bowl.
I got the Chiefs winning this game. I think Brock Purdy is not going to be as good as he was last year. I think there's going to be some turmoil in the locker room. Who's getting traded? Is it Debo? Is it Brandon Ayuk? Are they getting traded? There's going to be talks.
And
I
they'll be like,
think-
yeah, we'll trade you in the offseason. Boom, let's keep playing.
Yeah, we say that, but we don't know. And
Name the last time an impact player.
maybe
was
Christian
traded.
McCaffrey. I'm not going to use the injury.
Name
card.
the last time an impact player was traded midseason.
Last time an impact player was traded mid-season. Okay, let's run down the list. I'm thinking.
Man, fucking K. Man.
I have to really think about this because that's not something that's like on the top of my head. Hold on. Let me look at teams because I feel like a trade happened not too long ago in the middle of the season. McCaffrey wasn't middle. Keenan was a middle. Denver, no. Raiders was a middle. Seahawks, no. Rams, no. No. Oh, Kevin Byard to the Eagles.
Okay. But
And
let's look at the
feel
Titans though. Let's look at the Titans though. They were not good. They were not a good team. I don't think the 49ers are willing to sacrifice one of their good players when they still believe they have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Was TJ traded before the season or during the season?
TJ?
Hawkinson, the tight end.
That was before the season.
I thought it was during the season. I thought it was like early in the season. I
don't remember.
No. Lonnie's right. It was during the season.
Another example.
But
I'm
were
really wrong.
they were a mid-team. Did the Vikings make the playoffs that year? I think they traded him because they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah,
The Lions didn't want to pay him. So the Lions were bad. Because that was before Jared Goff, right?
No.
He got traded from the Lions to the Vikings.
Yeah, it was during Jared Goff's tenure. Like the
Was
TJ
it his
Hawkinson
first year when they were mid at best?
I don't TJ Hawkinson obviously played I think it was TJ's first year last year.
No, he's
the
been in the
Vikings?
league at least 3 years, I think.
No, on the Vikings. I think his first year. CMC, I feel like was also in the middle of the season, was he not? Panthers traded CMC.
That's the one, but that was like 2020, 2021, I think. But the Panthers are bad. No team with a chance to win the Super Bowl is trading an impact player midseason.
Chance to win the Super Bowl, 49ers. I'd have to really think about that. Did any team really do that in the middle of the season? I'd have to really think about that. But anyhow, 49ers Chiefs, what are we saying?
49ers.
49ers win that game.
49ers.
I got Chiefs, but whatever. Chiefs versus Raiders.
Hey,
Chiefs win
they
that game.
splitting with the Raiders. I'm gonna let you know right now.
No, they're not.
Splitting with the Raiders.
Wait. When's the next time they play the Raiders? Because if it's like the last game when the Chiefs have secured playoff position, then
November
maybe.
29th.
Week 13 and week 8 is Raiders.
Oh, they're not. I don't think they're splitting with the Raiders.
I believe in Antonio Pierce.
Unless you're telling me Gardner Minshew or Aiden McConnell's playing the game of his life, or
they won last,
or the
they
Chiefs
won
are
last
breaking
year.
down again like they did last year.
They won last year, and they
But
Yeah,
they
and
were
that was like
bro. You're not
that Chiefs
moving
game.
on
They
games,
bottomed
bro.
out.
They're
They
trolling.
bottomed out in that Chiefs game.
Man, they're splitting They're splitting with the Raiders.
They're not splitting. They're beating Raiders both times.
They'll sweep every team but the Raiders.
7-1. Play Buccaneers week 9.
They could lose that game. I think
They could lose that game, but I think they end up winning that game.
Okay.
I don't
8-1. Or is that 7-1? 8-1?
8-1.
Because they have the bye. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-1.
They play the Broncos week 10.
They
Beat the
win that game.
Broncos.
Bo Nix believers in here? No.
Nope.
Then we'll go to Chiefs.
unless
8-1.
you want to listen to Sean Payton. Sean Payton was ultimate glazing how Bo Nix looked. I'm like, bro,
I think he's
get
gonna
a
be pretty
room.
good his rookie year.
Hey, you're supposed to do that with quarterbacks.
I
Pause.
was like, man, he's bigger than I thought. I'm like, all right, bro, calm down.
Week 11, Buffalo Bills at Buffalo.
Let's go. Let's go Bills.
I think
Let's go Bills.
I
Let's
got
go
the
I don't-
Bills.
I think Buffalo will be good. I don't think they're beating the Chiefs.
Let's
I got
go
the-
Bills.
So 9-1
That's a coin flip for me. I can see it going either way.
at Carolina. 10-1. We don't got to talk about it. Week 13 Raiders.
They splitting with someone. They splitting with the Raiders.
You're just saying things. They're not.
no,
splitting
I'm
with
not.
the
They split. Listen,
They have a they have a better chance of splitting with the Chargers than they do the Raiders.
Nah, they split.
I
with
agree.
Chargers.
I
I
agree.
agree.
They
All
only
right,
the
so
Chargers.
11-1. Now Chargers.
Fine, they lose to the Chargers then.
I'm fine with them splitting with the Chargers. So 11-2. Browns.
I think they could lose to the Browns. I think
I think the
defense
Browns-
needs to-
All things healthy, if everybody's healthy, the Browns could win that game. I think the Browns will win that game.
I got the Browns.
I think the Browns win that game.
I had the Browns.
But
Not
that's
even
where
win.
that's where
They
for
won-
like a
that's
few
people
weeks.
won.
So that's only if Deshaun Watson is playing as good as he was the last game or so. If he's
He's
playing,
not.
if he's playing bad, then never mind.
Hey,
He's
he-
not.
but
He's-
even-
he's gonna-
I honestly-
he's gonna
even-
play
I feel like
bad.
if Nick
He's
Chubb-
gonna
I
play
feel
But they're
like
11-3. They
Nick
just
Chubb
lost
is-
back-to-back games. Everybody's like, "What's going on with the Chiefs? The Browns are the best team in the AFC." Blah blah blah. That's what's going to happen after that game.
11-3 versus the Texans.
I say
I had them losing the Texans, right?
I say
had
they're
Texans
winning
lose
that game.
So the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs winning. Yeah, I had the Texans losing.
I say they win that game, but y'all picked the Texans to lose all three. So the Chiefs win that game.
No, y'all had them beating the Chiefs.
Yeah, me and Rondell had the Chiefs winning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 11-4.
11-4, so 3 games.
Steelers and Broncos.
They
So
win both
13-4.
those games. 13-4, and they're the 1 seed.
They're the 1 seed.
Shouldn't have lost to the freaking Dolphins, Texans. You'd have the tiebreaker.
All right, was that the last one?
That's the last one we can do now. We can do more on y'all can do more on Saturday. But we've been going almost 3 hours. So anyway, guys, that was our reaction to some of the best just to the NFL schedule release. Talked a little bit about Netflix, Kirk Cousins, all that stuff. Make sure you support us by following us on Instagram, on TikTok, on over here on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you support the podcast if you want to donate to us on our freaking. I gotta find it. Jesus Christ, where's it at? On our.
And before we end the stream, I have one quick question for Dev.
Okay.
Yo.
Make sure you support if you want to support us. Make sure you donate. You can donate to our Cash App and all that. So just thank you so much for watching, and go ahead, Lonnie.
All right, Dev. So when the Chiefs played the Buccaneers, what was the number one reason they lost? Was it their defense or was it Pat Mahomes getting his ass whooped?
What year? Last year?
The Super
No,
Bowl.
When the Bucks played the Chiefs.
Shit, I think a mixture of both. Cause
Wow, I said that.
Mahomes getting his ass beat, or let's see, cause like the O line didn't do him no favors, but then
Uh-huh.
the defense was on 10 though.
The defense was selling.
No. Oh, the Chiefs defense was selling.
Yeah,
Oh, I
No,
thought you were talking about the
saying-
Buccaneers.
I'm
defense
talking
was selling.
about the Chiefs.
Yeah, he's talking about
was
the
it
Chiefs
more on the
defense
Chiefs
and the
defense
Chiefs
or was it
offensive
on the
line.
Chiefs offense?
Oh, so Dev, you were talking about the Bucks defense. and the Chiefs
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
Bucks
you
defense.
know what I'm talking about.
Answer.
Yeah.
Answer the question. Yeah, Dev, answer the
How was the
question.
Bucks? How was the Bucks
The
defense?
Bucks defense,
selling?
the Bucks defense was on 10 that game.
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was talking about the
10.
Bucks defense being great. So okay,
I think the Bucks defense was on 10 that game. Devin White was playing good. The coverage was good. And then the pass rush was getting right at Mahomes. And
And what was the main reason why the Chiefs were struggling?
that O-line was bad.
Thank
Oh,
you.
crazy.
But like the
I'm-
Mahomes played like super nominal, but that O-line didn't do him no favors.
I still think, Dev, the reason they're bringing it, I still think the Chiefs defense deserves blame. They were undisciplined. They were holding all the time to the point that we saw Tyrann Mathieu try to
Maybe-
call. They were not good in that game.
How
They were
about this?
not.
I'm going with the
Yeah,
I'm going with the O line, but
Am
I'm
I
gonna
saying
rewatch.
look,
How about
look,
this?
look,
I'm gonna
look?
rewatch
Am
that
I
game.
saying that the Chiefs defense was the biggest problem in that game? No, but
That's
for
what
y'all
he was
to
basically
say
implying the
that's
whole
not what I
time.
that's not what I
That's not
implied.
what he was basically
That's
saying.
not what I said, Lonnie. Do not misrepresent me. I said when you want to say
No, we need to clip
hold
this
on,
man up, bro.
let me
I'm
say
not
this.
gonna lie. This man needs to get clipped.
No, I did
He
not say that.
100% said that the
I did
Chiefs
not
defense
say
was the
that. I
biggest
said they were
reason.
both. Do you want me to rewind to go back to what I said? Because I
Yes.
said
Yes.
I said they were both bad. I never said that the Chiefs defense was the main reason they lost. I said they were both bad. They were both bad.
You're making it seem like they were equal when they were not equal. One was way
I
worse
never
than the other.
said that. I literally never said that. I was just making sure that y'all are not giving the Chiefs defense an out. They were both bad. They were both bad.
Why were they bad though?
They were both bad.
Was it because the offense kept on putting them in
I
bad
also think
situations?
because they were. I also think because they were undisciplined. They had a ton of penalties in that game. Whether the offense, even if the offense was healthy, they had a ton of
Did the
penalties in
offense
that
put
game.
them in bad positions?
That doesn't mean you commit penalties.
Did the offense put them in positions to succeed, or did they put them in positions to fail?
The offense did not help them, but they also did not play
No,
well.
that's not what I asked. Did the offense put them in positions?
I
to fail?
answered your question, but I'm not letting you let the Chiefs defense off the hook. They also did not play well, Lonnie. No matter how much you want to slice it, they did not play well.
This doesn't matter
Oh,
because
Dev-
Bill
Dev,
Belichick,
this
as a
is- this is
defensive
my-
coordinator,
second-
has been blown out
Dev,
as
this
well.
is my
So
second
ultimately, it doesn't
question.
matter.
Let me. I gotta rewatch that game to see the defense play back because what I remember the most was the O line. That's what I remember
Yeah,
the
the
most.
O-line is
that's
the
what we
O-line
all
is the
remember.
biggest.
Hey, Dev, here's my second question though, because let's just say because he's random saying that loss was so bad for Spagnuolo. So is that loss as bad as him as bad as what's good of him beating the 16-0 New England Patriots? Does that even out? Or is one way better than the other?
Wait, so you're saying the 16-0 loss is better than the way
him beating the 16-0 Patriots with his defense.
Mhm.
Like how we put that in regard does that equal his loss to Tampa Bay?
I think him beating the 16-0 Patriots is better. Because like if he loses, like him losing Tampa Bay, like it was it bad? Yeah. Listen, I don't have to rewatch the game because I don't remember the defense that much. But then again, Spagnuolo has done like a lot of wonders, like especially this year. That Chiefs defense, I know we're gonna say like Lamar saw today. That Chiefs defense did good. Like Spagnuolo's been cooking. Like you beat an undefeated team that's like Randy Moss, Tom Brady, and
but
Speaks.
look, Dev, let him add the context. They're trying to say Spagnuolo belongs in the all-time conversations, and I disagree.
All I said, he's one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time. That's
I disagree, and I disagree.
Let's look at
the offense did not make that Chiefs defense have 11 penalties. That offense did not cause that. They were bad. They were bad in that game.
Listen.
And that's fine, but also
so now it's the coordinator's job that someone was holding.
But they were undisciplined. That 11 penalties showcases your team was undisciplined. You can do something about that. They were always undisciplined that whole season.
What did you want him to do? Get on the field?
This was a prevalent problem for the Chiefs defense the whole season. The whole season, they were one of the highest penalized defenses.
Yeah,
you as a coach can do something about that. They were not. Y'all, this is my thing though, Dev. They act like I'm placing the majority of that blame of that Super Bowl loss on Spagnuolo. I'm not.
You're saying it's
I'm not.
You're saying it's a. You were saying
when it is a blemish for him when you're trying to place on when you're trying to place him among the best, and none of them in the Super Bowl were blown out like he was.
None of them have made the Super Bowl as much as he did.
All right, I'm watching.
They all went to become successful head coaches.
But I'm not talking
strictly defensive coordinators.
And I'm going off what they did. I just don't agree that Spagnuolo belongs in those conversations.
Random.
We're going off a smaller sample size.
I'm rewatching. I know it's highlights, but to be fair, is defense gonna cook? Yes, but they are the Buccaneers offense are in good position because of their defense.
That doesn't explain the penalties. That doesn't explain the undisciplined play.
No,
That
no,
doesn't
no. What I'm
explain
saying
that.
is like the Chiefs' offense selling them is putting
I'm not saying they.
them in a good position.
I never said the Chiefs' offense did not sell them, but you're not gonna just disavow how bad they also played.
Yeah,
If you think the Chiefs defense played well, you're lying to yourself.
Okay, so they
Nobody
played bad. They
explained it.
played bad, and they got sold.
They got a pick.
They were so even if they did.
Yes,
even
that's
if they did
all I've
play
been
bad,
saying.
if they
That's
did
all
play
I've been
bad,
saying the
they
whole
were still
time.
they were still getting sabotaged.
But it's
And
not
they
a
was, and they
blemish.
also played bad.
It's,
and they
it's
also
still
played
not a
bad.
because they were
blemish.
getting
It's not.
sabotaged.
It's
No,
not a blemish.
fine then, Lonnie. I'm gonna turn to you and claim it's 11 penalties great at any time.
No, but they were regardless of the penalties, they were going to lose.
I can't lie.
9 points is still 9 points. You're not winning a Super Bowl with 9 points.
But also, you helped. Okay, it wasn't just the offense.
That's a weak hole.
It wasn't just the offense selling them in bad positions. It's also the 11 penalties they were selling themselves too. 11 penalties is 11 penalties. 11 penalties for over 120 yards is bad.
But do you blame the coordinator or the players for that?
Like,
That's so
I
wild.
blame the coordinator because it's been a problem for them the whole year.
Oh, so it's not on the players.
It's
I'm
also on the
rewatching the
players,
hi-
but
I'm
you're the
rewatching the
coordinator. You knew this
highlights.
was a problem for your defense the whole time.
I
Two
rewatched
things can
the
be true,
highlights.
Lonnie. Two things can be true. Spagnuolo was not blameless.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna stick with my stance. This Bucks defense is going crazy. They get into Mahomes. They
Bucks
force the
defense
pick.
going crazy, and the
I'm
Chiefs
sticking.
offense is selling.
Yeah,
And they
I'm sticking with my
sold
standpoint.
themselves too. Did they not?
Random.
We're
You're
putting,
not,
done.
Lonnie.
we're putting the
You're
pecking order.
done.
I'm putting Bucks defense, Bucks offense, Bucks defense.
I think it's a bold argument
If we're
because
talking about
like
pecking order, if we're talking about pecking order of that game, it's Chiefs offensive struggles, Bucks defense, Bucks offense, Chiefs defense. In terms of why that game went the way it did.
Do you think that Super Bowl is a blemish on Andy Reid?
Yes.
Okay. Do you still have Andy Reid as one of the greatest coaches of all time?
Yes, but he's not the top.
We
things
never
can
said
be true.
Spags is the top. We just said one of.
Spags is better, or Andy Reid is better at what he does and what Spags is at what he
Fine,
does.
but we just said Spags is one of. We never said he's top. We never said he's one, two,
I don't.
three.
All I
We
said
just
is that he
he's
does not
one of the
belong in
greatest.
those. And all I told you was that he does not belong in those conversations. Not when your defense proved what it has been
So to
all
close this
year.
out,
It was undisciplined.
I want the three of y'all to
11
do what I
penalties
did.
for 120 yards. Did the Chiefs offense sell them? Yes, but they also sold themselves.
So I want all three of y'all to do what I did. So we have like the Chiefs offense, Chiefs defense, Bucks offense, Bucks defense for how the game played out in order. What was the biggest factors? Because I said Chiefs offense because of their struggles, Bucks defense, Bucks offense, Chiefs defense.
Yeah, the Chiefs defense would be last, for sure.
And that's fine, but they deserve blame. That's
But they're
all
the
I've
least-
ever
they're
said.
the last reason why they lost.
But
They're the
they
last
deserve-
reason why they lost.
They deserve blame. Because-
Every aspect of football deserves blame, but we're not
Yes,
going to go.
but when-
We're
So,
not going
Lonnie,
to
did the 11 penalties
criticize
not
you
happen? Did the
because
11
of
penalties
it.
not
No,
happen,
I'm not
Lonnie?
saying-
You watched the game.
So do it. So what's number one in terms of
I agree with you, Lonnie. My biggest thing with y'all is that y'all are not giving Spagnuolo enough blame for the game plan and how his players played. They were
Spagnuolo
undisciplined the whole year,
Spagnuolo,
Lonnie.
You had a bad game plan. There you go.
It doesn't. I don't care if they're undisciplined the whole year. They made a Super Bowl, and they weren't the main reason they lost. The main reason they lost was the offense, 100%.
And I agree with you, but he deserves blame. When
He
you're
can have a
talking
little
when
tiny
you're putting
game,
him in
that's
conversations
fine.
with the best, these things matter. The little things matter.
Everybody
things
got
matter.
blemishes. Then Bill
These things
Belichick got
matter.
blemishes.
He does not belong in those conversations. He doesn't. You don't get blown out in the Super Bowl like that. And you're
Bill
trying to say he's
Belichick
one of
got
the
blown
best.
out in the playoffs as a defensive coordinator.
And that's
He got blown out too.
not in the Super Bowl.
He
Not
couldn't
in the
make
best
the
game of the
Super Bowl.
season.
He couldn't make the
Not
Super
the,
Bowl.
What's more important, Lonnie? What's more important, Riddell? The Super Bowl or the divisional playoff game?
He
What's more
couldn't
important?
make the Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
What's more important?
Bill Belichick. Who's made?
Would you rather get blown out in the divisional
who's-
game or the Super Bowl?
Who's
Would
made
you
the
rather
Super
get blown
Bowl
out in the
more?
division game or the Super Bowl?
Who's made the Super Bowl more? Spags or Bill
Because
Belichick?
he went to become one of the best head coaches
That's
of all
not the
time.
question, though.
That's not the
That's what
question.
he went to do.
That's not the question.
We're
That's
talking
not
about
the
defensive coordinators. You're bringing.
I
head
still
coaching.
pick Bill Belichick. Even
That's
Andy Reid
fine,
would pick
but he
Bill
has
Belichick
blemishes
before.
too. He has blemishes too. Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
got
but
blemishes
Bill
too.
Belichick's better. He's better. He's done
fine.
it
We never said
longer.
he
Still has
wasn't better.
blemishes.
But we're saying they both got blemishes.
And Bill Belichick still, I don't believe.
So in
All
that
I'm
game,
saying, I
so
do
in
not
that
believe
game-
that Spagnuolo deserves to be in the same conversation as Bill Belichick. I don't believe so. And we're just gonna have to disagree on this. He doesn't belong in that conversation.
But you're saying you agree in that game that the Chiefs defense is the fourth reason why they lost.
But they were still bad.
it's the fourth reason.
It don't matter. They were still bad. They were still bad.
I agree that they were bad, but they were the fourth reason.
It doesn't matter. They were still bad. That's always been my argument, is that they were bad.
When there's three,
You're trying to
bigger
give them
reasons
less
why
things when they were
why it
still
was a blowout.
bad. They were still
There's
bad.
Three bigger reasons why it's a blowout, but you're
It
putting
don't
it on
matter. They were
Spag.
still bad.
You're still putting it on
Was the
Spag.
Chiefs defense good that game, Lonnie? Were they good?
You know what this is like?
We're
This
not
is
going to
like-
agree on this. They were bad.
This is like
They were
blaming,
bad.
This is like blaming, like if the Nuggets lose the finals, this is like putting all the blame on like Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr.
It's like putting the blame on Nikola Jokic.
he-
Even though he's the last reason, but he's on the
If
team.
he
so
played
deserves
bad,
all the blame.
then I would blame him. Then I would blame them. They played bad. They played bad. They played bad. You can't deny that. They played bad. Just because
random
you want to
blame
give
on
them
it.
less blame does not mean they did not play bad.
Yeah, but you're making the blame bigger than what it is.
No,
You're
I'm
high-
not. No, I'm literally not. No, I'm literally not. Lonnie, I said I agree with you, but y'all are making it seem like they didn't play that way. And that's why I keep fighting you on that, because
This
they
is the
played
equivalent-
badly.
This is the equivalent of what you're doing. So say next game, say tomorrow the Nuggets lose, and say Nikola played bad, say Nikola played horrible, say Jamal Murray played not as horrible, but like second worst. Then say Aaron Gordon played third worst, and then Michael Porter played the fourth worst. He was the least bad out of all of them.
But he was still
But then
bad. But he was still
time we're
bad.
talking about the game,
He
you're
was
just
still
focusing on
bad.
Michael Porter Jr.
He was
You're
still
not-
bad. Rudy Gobert is getting blamed right now like he was the main reason they lost. He was still, but Rudy Gobert was bad.
Yeah, well,
He was
Jokic was
bad.
great. I can't lie, Jokic was
Random
great.
is or at this point, Random's not really making a point. Is
He was
Steve
bad.
Spagnuolo?
That's always been my point. They
No,
played
no, that
bad.
hasn't been your point. That hasn't been your point.
They played
Right,
badly.
Jokic,
Okay,
Murray,
is
and Aaron
Steve
Gordon first.
Spagnuolo at
You're
the
just
very
focusing
least?
on Michael Porter. That's what you're doing. You're focusing on the fourth.
Because they played
option.
bad. He played
They
badly.
all played worse. They all played worse.
But they
That's the
played
point.
bad.
But you're
That's
focusing
always been
on
my
him.
case. Y'all are trying to make good, and I'm still saying, yes, I agree with you, but he played badly.
Yes, we acknowledge he played bad, but why are you focusing on that and not the other reasons?
No, because
Well,
y'all
they
are
played
trying to
worse.
lessen how bad the defense played when they played badly. 11 penalties, letting Brady drive up and down the field, selling. Not only let the Chiefs offense sell them, but them selling themselves to the
How are you going
point
to stop Tom Brady with Mike Evans, Chris Goodwin,
you
Rob
don't commit
Gronkowski,
11 penalties.
Antonio Brown with terrible field position?
You
Terrible field
don't
position.
commit 11 penalties. Don't do that first.
How about-
don't turn
how
the
about
ball
your-
over
how about
10
your
times.
offense scores more than 9 points to help you out too?
Yeah,
How
but
about-
don't commit.
How about you
Did
don't
11
get constant
did the
three and
11
out?
penalties help them,
How about
Lonnie?
how
Did
about
the 11
offense gives the
penalties
defense
help
some
them?
rest?
Did the 11 penalties help them, Lonnie?
No,
Is that
but
a
the
good or
offense
bad
help
thing?
them?
Is that a
What was-
good or
what was
bad
worse?
thing?
What was worse, the penalties or the offense?
Both.
Getting-
They
What
were
was
both
worse?
bad. The
What was
offense
worse?
was worse, but they also didn't help
Thank you.
themselves.
That's all I need to hear. The offense was worse. That's all I need to hear.
No, but they still play bad. I don't understand why y'all
agree.
don't get that.
I
They
agree,
sold
but some things are
themselves
worse.
too. They didn't help themselves. So they played badly. You can name all the things they want.
Also, Bill Belichick and Steve Spagnuolo were defensive coordinators for the same amount of time.
Who one of them literally went to become a more successful head coach?
That
Talk about
has
defensive
nothing to do with what I
coordinators,
said.
though, but
Yeah,
It's not
and
about
one of them
that.
went
Has
to
nothing
be
to
a
do
head
with
coach
that,
and
what I
came
said.
back because he was that bad as a head coach.
Yeah,
You
sure.
tried it. You tried
fine.
it. You tried to do
Agreed.
defensive mind. That didn't work. So you're
What-
sticking to this. I'm still picking everybody and their mother.
I didn't
picking
try to
Bill
do
Belichick.
defensive mind. I asked
Everybody
a
and their mother's
question.
picking Bill Belichick before
Random's
that. I just
trying to-
believe
Random is
he does
trying to
not
win.
deserve to be in
Random
those.
is trying to
He
win.
does not deserve to be in those
But
conversations. We
The
will
first
never
thing
agree
I
on this.
said, the first
We
thing
will
I
never
said,
agree on this. He does not
I
deserve
a-
to be in those conversations.
you're making an argument that doesn't exist. I asked a question,
And I
about
said
defense.
no. That was
Okay,
my
that's
answer.
fine. You can crash out about a question all you want. Then I made a statement. My statement is defensive coordinator.
And I
That
said
is the
no.
take I'm
He does not
making.
belong in those conversations. That was my
Did it for
retort
the
to your
same amount
statement.
of time, and he's
They
more
were the same. They were
accomplished.
both defensive coordinators.
I
for
still do
11
not believe he
seasons,
belongs in
and
those
one
conversations.
coordinator won 4 Super Bowls, and another one only 2.
Objectively, he's right. Whether you like it or not, objectively, Riddell is right.
Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. Is he as good as Dan Marino?
He's more accomplished.
Is he as good as Dan Marino?
He's more accomplished.
Is he as good as Dan Marino?
He's more accomplished.
No, that doesn't answer my question. Is he
That
as good as Dan Marino?
changing the conversation completely. Because
Are we
first,
talking talent or
first you were
production?
going like, okay, who's more
He's
successful?
Dan Marino's better. What are we doing?
Spagnuolo. Steve Spagnuolo was more successful. Okay, who was Steve Spagnuolo was a defensive coordinator longer. Wrong. They're a defensive coordinator, same amount of time. Okay. One guy got blown out in the Super Bowl. One guy got blown out in the playoff game and couldn't make as many.
What's
Super Bowls as
worse,
Steve
getting blown
Spagnuolo.
out in the playoff game or the Super Bowl?
He couldn't make.
You're
nearly
hating
as many
outside the
Super Bowls.
club when you can't even
couldn't
get
make-
in.
He couldn't even get there. He couldn't even get there.
One of them start off in the worst. Then add all the context. One of them start off in the worst situation that Spagnuolo did. One of them as a defensive
Spagnuolo
coordinator
was
had
terrible.
Mahomes. The other guy had
Giants.
Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler. What are we
Spagnuolo started
talking
off the
about? One of them
Giants.
had
What
the
are we lying
greatest.
about?
One of
Giants
them
were
had the
a
greatest offensive
legendary
minds,
team
and the other
then.
guy
What are we
finally had to
talking
wait for
about?
Bill Parcells. What are we talking about? Then
He
add
had
all the
Lawrence
context.
fucking Taylor. He had the greatest defensive player of all time.
And with Bill Parcells, they got blown out in the playoffs. You know that, right?
Yes, that's fine. That's
He
still
had the greatest.
I would
defensive
still
player
rather
of
get
all
blown out
time.
in the Super Bowl. I would still rather get blown out divisional than the Super Bowl. And the biggest stage of them all.
I'd rather make the Super Bowl. I'd rather make the Super Bowl.
That's fine, because guess what? Because if you want to eat, one of them went on to be a very successful head coach and clearly
Fine.
showcased the defensive mind. We're just never going to agree on this. We never
Yeah,
are.
one's a better head coach. Fine, cool.
One's a better head coach, better defensive mind, better defensive coordinator. Go,
One's
you don't
not a
have to
better
ask me.
defensive coordinator.
Go ask
One's not a
NFL
better
players.
defensive
Go
coordinator.
ask NFL minds. One
We
of them
never
just clearly
said
clears. He clears.
Spags was a better defensive
I
coordinator.
don't care. He doesn't
We never
belong in
said
that same.
Spags
He
was a
doesn't
better
belong in
defensive
any discussion with Bill Belichick. He doesn't.
And that's
As a
objectively
defensive
wrong.
coordinator,
That's
I mean,
objectively wrong.
He doesn't. Then it don't matter. We'll just disagree. on
Spags
this.
is the most successful defensive coordinator of all time. You know this, right?
I do not care. He does not belong in this.
So, actual stats.
Bill Russell's the
accolades,
most
none of that
successful
matter.
player of all time.
Actual
Nobody's saying he's better
production
than
doesn't
Jordan.
matter. Actual production doesn't matter. That's what
Nobody's
you're saying.
saying Spags is better than Belichick. Why you keep on saying that?
I do
We're
not
just saying he's in
care.
the
We're just
conversation.
never going to agree on this. We'll just end the stream. We'll just end the stream because we're never going to agree on this. We
You're
just
just
never
saying,
are.
you're just saying production doesn't matter. That's what you're
No,
saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he doesn't belong in the same conversations. Okay? Matt Ryan has more production than Dan Marino. They don't belong in the same conversation. They don't. If you don't believe me, go look up Matt Ryan's career stats and Dan Marino's. And
That
Dan
doesn't
Marino
matter.
clears.
Do not compare.
Oh, so
Matt Ryan
production,
to
so
Spags.
production clears. Is that what you're saying? You're saying the production?
No,
clears?
It's
no.
not
Matt
Wait,
Ryan is not as good of a quarterback as Dan Marino is. Dan
But
Marino's
you brought
better.
up
Wait,
Dan
but hold
Marino's-
on. But then you
but you brought up
Spags
Dan
not
Marino's
Matt
stats,
Ryan. Spags
which is
not Matt
production.
Ryan.
You brought up Dan Marino's production.
I think if we look at Spags'
No, I said
resume-
as a quarterback. He doesn't. Matt Ryan has more career yards, probably has more career touchdowns than Dan Marino. He has more production than Dan Marino, but Dan Marino's better. Dan Marino's always going to be better.
We never said Spags was better than Belichick.
Because now Lonnie said production doesn't matter, and I gave you one where Matt Ryan clearly has better production than Dan Marino, but Dan Marino's better.
That's a nasty example because Spags is
Yeah,
way
but
better
we're
than
not
Matt Ryan. Never
saying that
will be.
one is better than the other, but we're saying that they're both still good.
All I'm saying is that one of them doesn't belong in the same conversation as the other one.
But guess what?
That's
They're-
where I'm
At
saying.
the end of the careers, they're going to be in the same conversation. We're talking defensive coordinators.
They're not.
One is more accomplished than the other.
I do not care. I do not care,
You
and
don't
I
have to
feel
care to
like
be
most of the NFL people will agree with me.
Yeah, because
They-
four
the
is
most
bigger
of
than
them
two,
care.
whether you like it or
Because-
not. Four is
because
more than
that-
two.
That's fine. That's fine.
then
Eli Manning has
by-
2
by
more
the
Super Bowls than Dan Marino.
And
Dan
guess what?
Marino's
In 2
better.
years, it could be 5, it could be 6, it could be 7.
Dan-
You're still going to be
It
saying
don't matter.
Bill Belichick's
Eli
better
Manning
than
could win
coordinator.
4 Super Bowls. Dan Marino's still better than him.
If Eli Manning won 4 Super Bowls, there is no argument of Dan Marino.
Joe
being
Montana
better
was
than
winning
him.
Super Bowls.
There is
people-
no
When
argument. of Dan
Tom
Marino
Brady
being
was
better
winning
than
Super
Eli if
Bowls,
he
people
won
still
4
said
Super Bowls.
Peyton Manning was better, and he had to prove it. Like I don't know how else to tell you. I don't know how else to tell you.
If Spags ends up with like 6 Super Bowls, and we're still saying, "Oh, it's not the same
He
conversation,"
doesn't belong in the same conversation as Bill Belichick.
I don't
he
know.
just has,
at this-
he
I don't
just has
know.
twice. He just has twice the rings in the same amount of time.
So rings are the end all be all then.
No, but we're
That's
we're
what
saying
you're
that it still needs
using.
to be
That's what you're
acknowledged. It
using
still
right
needs to be
now.
acknowledged.
But he
That's what
has
you're using right now.
resume. We've seen what he's done.
That's what you're using right now, though. Lonnie's using rings like they matter. If that's true, then Eli's better than Dan Marino. That's what Lonnie's
I'm
using.
not saying it's all that matters, but I'm saying I'm not gonna like you're denying the rings entirely.
I'm not denying the rings. I'm just saying it doesn't matter to me. He's never going to be in that conversation. I never denied the rings. I never said his rings don't matter. I never said that.
So the rings do matter. He's had multiple. He's had production. He's had a historic moment as in beating the unbeatable.
He's also
team.
had a tremendous low light as well.
See, he's bringing it up again. He's
Bring it
bringing
up
it
again.
up again.
How does 30-9 not matter?
He's
How does it
bringing
not
up.
matter? How does it not matter?
Random. You know why it doesn't matter? Because you literally admitted that it's the fourth
But it still
reason why
happened
they
to
lost.
him. He was a defensive coordinator
It was
presiding
the
over
fourth
that.
reason
When his
why they
defense was
lost. So that's
undisciplined.
by default. If it's the fourth reason why your team lost, that's not a momentous low light.
Yes, it is when you
If he
compare him
was
to the
first
best.
reason,
When
if he
you're
was the
comparing him
first
to the
reason
best,
or
it
the
is.
second reason, I
When
would
you're
agree
comparing
with
him
you.
to the best, it
You just
is,
said he was
Lonnie.
the fourth
When you're
reason why
comparing
they
him to the
lost.
best, it is. When you compare him to the best, it is. That's why it matters. Because you're
Being
comparing him to the
fourth reason
best.
why your team loses.
When you want him to
that doesn't
when you
make
want him to be in those conversations, that matters. Because you're comparing him to the best.
You know what?
That's why it matters.
Draymond Green's no longer a Hall of Famer because he got suspended that one time and he cost him that game. So like because of that super low light, he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. He's not one of the greatest defensive players ever. You know what? I'm using your logic. I'm
You know
using your
what?
logic.
So you think
This-
Draymond Green's one of the best defensive players ever?
Like top 15.
Top 20.
We-
You know,
we
Draymond.
just ended-
No,
we
it's
just ended
actually a
stream.
fact. He is one of the best defensive players ever.
We'll just end the stream because I'll just throw another one at you. Then you say I'm capping. What are we talking about?
Hey, this is what I'm gonna do. Now,
we talking about?
random got me in my bag now. On my TikTok, where Dell Talks Sports, make sure y'all follow. I'll be putting out bangers over there. I'm gonna make a video on Spags. You know what? I'm being nasty, being the best defensive coordinator of all time, just
He's
because
not.
of random.
He's
I'm gonna
literally
make
not.
the argument. and
He's literally not.
No.
Just because he had Lawrence Taylor on the other side of the field, having arguably the GOAT and the GOAT head coach as his offense on the other side of the ball matters. Jeff Hostetler and Phil Simms combined do not match Mahomes. He's not. He's not. You can be nasty all you want, and most NFL people will tell you you're wrong. Most NFL people will tell you you're wrong.
You're saying, oh, he had Mahomes when Mahomes was fighting for his life that game.
You are legitimately using Spags' entire career, and one of them, and a part of his career, is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Yeah, and what
Does
the Bucks?
Bill Belichick
Mahomes
during
was
his
the
tenure as a
main reason
defensive
why they
coordinator
lost.
have
The
anything
O-line
close
was
to
the
that?
main reason why they lost.
Lonnie, answer my question. Does Bill Belichick during his defensive tenure as a defensive coordinator have anything close to that?
He has better
does not.
defensive talent. No, he has better defensive talent than Spags.
He has one
Arguably
guy who was
ever
better.
had.
His offense on the other side, his other counterpart.
But
he
defensive
clears.
talent, when you're the
Spagnuolo
defensive
clears.
coordinator, matters
He
more.
Spagnuolo clears. He clears on the offensive help that he
Are you
had.
saying that he
Clear.
only had one
I'm talking
guy
about
because he didn't know the
defensive
rest of the Giants defense?
Okay, Carl Banks. Carl Banks too. Steve Spagnuolo still clears with the amount of offensive help that he's had. Does he not? Let's go ahead and cap.
We're
Does
talking
he
about
not?
defensive talent.
We're
I'm
talking
about
about
As a
defensive
defensive
talent.
coordinator?
We're talking about
Tyreek
Yeah,
Hill.
defensive talent matters more as a defensive coordinator.
What to
We're
say?
talking
You're
So
bringing up
the
offense
offense does
around.
not affect the defensive coordinator. Now we're just
You're all
capping.
over
We're
the
ending the
place
stream.
right
We're
now.
done. We're done.
Random,
Good
you're all
night,
over the
y'all.
place.
Subscribe.